We're recording now, so welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, man.
For everyone that's listening and watching, this is Marcos Diaz. He's actually my girlfriend's older brother, so it's a little intimidating. I'm not gonna lie, but I mean, first off, out of all the guys she's dated, am I like the best one?
Out of all the guys she's dated, are you the best one?
Yeah.
Or you're the one that's lasted the
like
longest?
the coolest one. Like, I mean, have you hung out with your other exes?
No.
No? Oh, okay. So it's
no.
kinda
Well,
hard.
I hung out with one, but it was really briefly, so I can't. I'm sorry, man. I can't relate.
Well, that's good then. That's
I can't
a good
compare
thing.
you to anybody.
That's a good thing because I think I fit in right. Like, not fit in, but like I know the first time I met Isaac and your parents, like they were super welcoming, and then from then on, like he just was really cool.
I'll tell you what though. Last night, I was just cleaning up the yard outside, and I was showing Davian, like my son, the Halloween decorations we have outside and how it was all hooked up and stuff like that. It was weird because I thought about you and Saida, and I was like, they're meant for each other. That's literally what I was like. They literally follow each other's steps. Like they get along well, and they like the same shit.
That's so random though.
Yeah, it was a real random thought, dude. I don't know why I thought about it, but it just came to my mind, and I was like, they're literally best friends. It's weird.
It's so, but we're also, I think we're like opposites. Yeah, I think in our
opposites attract.
Yeah, and I don't think that's true for everybody, but I think in our situation it kind of worked out, and it works out because like I think I'm sometimes out of hand, and then she's the one that calms me down, like brings me back down before I go off the rails.
Yeah, off the rails.
So I think she balances me out, but it kind of works out. But that's so funny though. You're thinking about that while you were putting up Halloween
decorations. Yeah, it's weird, right? It was just a thought. It was just my mind was just going off into a bunch of different things.
Yo, and isn't that weird? That it's funny that you bring that up because there's so many times that I've had like I can be doing something so random like washing dishes. Or no, I don't want to say that because that you can like daydream with that. But like, say if I'm watching a movie and like one scene catches my attention, and then like from then on, like I'll think of that, and then I just start going through all these like loopholes or like rabbit holes in my head where I'm like thinking of all this shit. Like, say if I just saw someone got murdered, and I was like, damn, that'd be crazy if I got murdered like that. And I'll be like, wait, I wonder how I'm gonna die, and I'm like, I hope I don't die like this. And then I started thinking like, damn, what if Saida got abducted, or what if Saida got taken by like some cartel leaders? I was like, what if they like raped her, and like I started thinking of so much shit, and then like halfway through I'm like, I see the movie and I'm like, wait, how the fuck did I get to this? Like, it's so weird how we have like these random thoughts in our heads.
15 scenes later, you're like, whoa.
Yeah. Have you ever like same thing, like have you ever had like those long drives and you're just thinking about so much stuff that like out of nowhere you're just like, where am I? Or like, how have I not crashed, or how like, and
you ever missed your exit?
I've
done it a couple times.
I've done it, but only because like I'm like too slow and I can't get over fast enough to exit.
I've missed my exit
just from thinking.
Yeah, from daydreaming. Just daydreaming, thinking, and depending on what's going on in my life at the time, thoughts, just deep into thoughts, and you're just driving. And you're like, and then you miss your exit. Like, yeah, that's my exit. That's my fucking exit, yo.
No, my thing is like I'll pass like I'll be going through like traffic lights and they'll be green, but when I pass them, I'm like, was that red? Because I look back and I see all the other cars coming to a stop, and I'm like, did I just blow a red light? Like, because I'm not even thinking about it. Like, I just assumed the car in front of me is going, so I'm gonna go too.
Yeah, that's happened to me many times.
That's scary.
It is scary because you think you're paying attention, but your mind is focused on some other stuff.
Yeah.
And not only that, but especially if it's the same routine, the same street, the same route every single time, you just go. I don't know. It's weird. You just go, you miss it, or you think you saw it green because last time you were there it was green.
Yeah.
You just take it. You're like, oh, dude, that was a fucking red light.
And it's terrible because there's times where I'm like, how am I still alive right now? Like, how have I not crashed?
Oh, that happens a ton, man. Like, especially like when I'm driving, obviously, but the first mistake, I guess, of the drive, I'm like, oh, today's gonna be the day I crash.
Or you know what's scary? Sometimes I'll be looking at my phone to like find a song or like change the podcast or find something, and there's times where I'm like looking at my phone so long, and I look and like, but little do I know I'm doing this. Like I'm looking back and forth real quick so I can stay straight. But there's times where I feel like I was on my phone longer than I was looking at the road, and I'm like, and I'll be like this, and I'll just be like, oh shit, like I'm still driving. Like I gotta remember I'm driving still.
Right.
And it's fucking scary because but then I think like, oh shit, I'm a good driver. I can look at my phone and not look at the road. But then
Right.
I know I'm just doing this real quick.
Not only that, but you live in a small town.
Yeah, that's true.
Where there's not too much traffic. You know, you might have 2 cars. You might have 1 car way behind you. You know, and you're so comfortable. You're like,
dude, you know who's a scary driver?
Saida?
Your dad.
Oh.
So since I've been working with him,
that must be an experience.
dude, it's scary. And like he doesn't, like, how can I put it? So like we were leaving out of your parents' neighborhood,
Right.
and we come to a stop sign, and I see a car coming down the road, and I'm thinking like, oh, like he's gonna let him go. Dude, he just like goes right in front of him, and like I look in the rear view and I can see the guy braking hard, and like your dad just like laughing, and I'm like, what the?
Time.
And then there was one time when the guys or your dad was driving, and someone went to the middle lane like to make a left, and they ended up going back into the right lane, and no lie, your dad almost hit him. I had to be like, hey, the car, and he was like, oh, and he just went around him. And like he sticks his hand out of the car, he's like, "Hey, what are you doing, guy?"
Oh, my dad
like,
does that all
but
the
he's
time.
laughing like if it's a joke. I'm like,
Oh yeah, no. I don't know. He has the best luck in the world.
Yes.
If I've ever met a human being in this world that has the best luck, it'll be my dad.
Except for the time that girl hit the trailer when he was
Even
parked.
then, because he wasn't in the car.
He didn't even know what's going on.
He had no idea what the hell's going on, man. He's over here cutting grass with a lawnmower.
Turns
and
around, there's a car.
Turns around,
upside
there's a car flipped, and so is his. He's like, what happened?
Yeah, no.
And then he's like, oh, there's somebody under the car. I should probably go help him.
Dude, I was dying. Your dad's funny too. I was dying laughing. So we were okay. So you know on where the bowling alley is, right across there, is like a Chinese restaurant.
Yeah.
And there's like a little karate place or whatever. It's like a little shopping center. So we were going past it, and your dad and because your dad only knows so much in English,
right?
He can only have so like certain conversations. Like I was telling Side the other day, he was talking to me like a little kid. Like we'd be driving, and I'd be on my phone, and he would just be like, look. Tractor, it's a tractor. Like, and I'm like, yeah, it is.
Yeah,
and he's like, look at the bus, and I'm like, yeah, it's a bus.
It's a bus.
But so we're going past it, this Chinese food place, and he's like, Chinese food? You like Chinese food? And I was like, yeah, I like Chinese food. And then he kept saying Chinese food, and then he somehow hit switch. I heard him. It switched from Chinese food, and I was on my phone, and I heard him going from Chinese food to shiny shoes. And he kept saying, shiny shoe, like Chinese food. And he's like, shiny shoe. And then I'm like, and I look at him, I'm just like, oh, okay. And then I remember one time, Saida, a long time ago, had told me that her dad used to be a shoe shiner and that he would shine her shoes for you guys.
Yeah.
So this whole time, he was just like saying, shiny shoes. And I'm like, oh, yeah, Saida told me he used to shine her shoes. And he was like, he looked at me, he's like, what? And I'm like, what? And like at that point I'm like I'm sorry, I don't know what you're saying. And he's like, no, Chinese food, like comida china. And I'm like, oh, Chinese food. I was like, yeah. I was like, oh, I like Chinese food. And he's like looked at me like if I was weird, and he was like started laughing. And then after that he was saying he said fucking shiny shoes again. And so I'm thinking, all right, he's talking about Chinese food. So I was like, yeah, I like Chinese food. He's like, no, he's like, you need to shine your shoes. So this time he's actually talking about shining shoes. Dude, and it's so funny because he has such a broken accent, like with English, and so and I was dying, and like I wasn't laughing at him, and like I was just like, yeah, no, and then like I would look away and just like I was trying so hard not to laugh.
You guys are like a sitcom, dude.
Dude, it was. I was like, what in the world? But it's funny to hear him talk to his clients too.
Oh,
yeah.
I have no idea how he does business.
I don't either. That's why, like, when Saida told me you should go work with my dad, I'm like, one of you guys has to go with me though. Like, there's no way, like, you know what I'm saying? So I figured out, like, I'm like his broken English translator. So like he talks to them, and I pretty much tell him, like, he'll just be like, oh, like we're gonna, oh, and then the other day he fucking, so I like when he's done for the day, he'll get the blower and like blow himself to get the dust off of. Yeah. Oh, for everyone listening, I forgot he does yard maintenance, so that's what we're talking about.
Oh yeah.
But so he'll tell me, like, you know. And the other day, the first day, he was like, "Oh, he's like here," and he gave it to me. He's like, "You blow me, and I'll blow you." And I'm like, "Whoa!" I'm like, "Okay,
that's not gonna happen."
I don't know how much you're paying me, but it's not worth it. But the way he like luckily handed me the blower.
Yeah.
So, but he's like,
what do you mean luckily? Of course he's gonna hand you
no,
the
but I'm
blower.
saying, like, instead of him being like going to grab it and be like, you blow me and I blow you. Like, I'm like, wait, what? So luckily he was handing it to me, and I was like, oh, okay, that's what you're trying to say. But
no shit.
I'm just saying, like, it was a trip though, because I'm thinking, like, if I told anyone the story, like, that's all you think of, right?
Well,
you blow me and I blow you. It's like, wait, what?
I mean,
Good
I get what
choice
you're
of
saying.
words.
I get what you're saying, but you gotta understand the man has broken English. He
Yeah.
has no idea that that's what it means. I trust me.
You know what's crazy though is he can tell me full on stories, and I understand the whole story. Like he was telling me about this time that he worked for some company where he had to go deliver some stuff,
Right.
and he went down here where the border patrol checkpoint is,
Oh yeah.
and he had forgot he left his wallet at. Oh, what happened was he left his cell phone at the house.
Oh.
And so we were driving back to the house to get it, and from that he thought of this story, and he was telling me like he left his wallet at the house one time, and that he's like I get to the border and I don't have my wallet and I don't have my green card, I don't know what to do, and like so they asked him for his information, they had to pull him over, and he had to give. He's like they asked like what's my name, they're like what's your name, and I said I'm Marcos Diaz, and I give him my birthday and like all this stuff, and he's like and they let me go, and I'm like damn, like but it's funny because sometimes he tells stories and I'm like I don't know what he's talking about. I have no idea. Then when he tells stories and when I understand him, I'm like
When you focus in.
Yeah. When I like
in?
really, then I'm like, do I know Spanish now? But no.
Do I know Spanish now?
No, it's just
It's
broken English.
I'm just putting pieces to the puzzle together.
Yeah, you're dead.
It's all working out.
Your dad fucking makes me laugh so hard though.
No, yeah, it's weird. When I used to work with him, obviously we know pretty fluent Spanish.
Yeah.
But it's always like I have to tell him, pay attention to the road, Pops. Pay attention to the road, man. You're going to kill us. You're going to kill us one day. And
yeah.
It's like, he has the biggest faith in God that nothing's ever going to happen to us.
Jesus, take the wheel.
He literally tells Jesus to take the wheel. And Jesus takes the wheel, man.
Damn.
Nothing happens, bro. I'm like, whoa. I get home and I think about the day, man. And I'm like, how do we not crash that one time when we were in that intersection?
Every time.
You know, like that's what. And when I say like, he has the biggest faith. He is the luckiest man. He really is.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of luck. I mean, no matter how much I work with him, no matter how much I talk to him or spend time with him, none of that luck rubs off on me.
Yeah. No, there's times where like we're driving and he has the windows down, so we're driving and he'll like point back to something, and we'll be driving, he'll be like, oh yeah, like it's like back here. And like not looking at the road, and as he's pointing, he's turning that way.
Right.
And I'm like, oh god.
Like, hey, you see that? And you're like, dude.
Yeah. And then when someone calls him, I'm like, please don't answer the phone. Like that's the last thing you need.
Yeah. Why no?
Yeah. And then I was outside the other day, like we were in front of some house for like an hour. I was sweating. I was fucking drenched in sweat because we had just finished a job, and like he's on the phone for an hour talking to someone, and I'm just sitting there on my phone like dying, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry. He's like, I had to take the phone call, like all this stuff, and I'm like, dude, I'm hot. Like at least drive around or something. Right, because we don't have AC.
Oh, he's never had AC.
Dude, how does he work in the summer? It's hot as shit out here. Dude, he's Mexican as shit.
Dude, when you're, I mean, you gotta. Do you know his origin story? I guess you could say.
I know he used to work in the fields. I know.
No, he worked in the field for a very short amount of time.
Oh.
Growing up, the man lived in a bus with 7 or 8 other brothers.
What?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
In a bus.
Like a school bus?
Yeah. That's where my grandpa...
What they do? Take all the seats out? Or?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, though. Because nowadays, everyone's doing that, like...
Right? Now it's the cool thing,
Now it's the cool thing, yeah.
No, but back then, they were literally in a lot. A school bus. No, obviously, didn't run. I think my grandpa might have got some batteries for it or whatever and hooked some stuff up, just engineered some shit.
So they didn't drive it. They just parked it and slept in it?
That was their house.
Oh, wow.
So my dad came from fucking literally dirt poor.
That's
dirt
crazy.
Poor. And he had a grandma, obviously. And I remember he told me one story where his older brother, I think he said it was like Christmas or New Year's or something. There was some kind of holiday. And, well, they were poor. They were dirt poor. And my dad was hungry. And all the rest of his brothers were hungry too. But he had this older brother who was a fucking dick.
They ate him.
No.
Oh.
No, man. They weren't. They were poor. They weren't savages.
Yeah.
Yeah. They weren't in the fucking Amazon hunting.
I thought that's where you were going with this. That's why.
Oh, no.
You're like, and there's this one fucking brother.
It's a sad
everyone
story.
hated him.
It's a sad story.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This fucking guy. So he was like, I guess he was his grandma's favorite. And my dad went over to grandma's house and he knocked on the door, and his brother opened the door, and my dad's like, "Hey, we're hungry, man. What's up? Can we come in? Whatever." And brother's like, "Nah, get the fuck out." Just a total dick. My dad was like, "Oh," my dad was like, he said he was like 11, 12 at the time.
Damn.
You know, and then so he left, and he said it was a sad moment at the time, and he went back to the bus and he pretty much told the brothers, "Well, I'm sorry, I got nothing." And then he'll be telling me these stories, and I'm just like, "My uncle did that?"
Yeah. And he's still alive today?
Yeah.
You just fucking go beat his ass.
Right? And I want to,
Remember
like,
that one
when I think about it, I want to fuck
It makes
him
you
up.
mad, right?
Yeah, piss you off. But then I'll hear my dad talking about him, and then I'm like, oh, life's a bitch.
Mm.
You know, it goes around, comes around, and when it comes around fucking with a fucking vengeance.
Yeah.
He's not in a good place in his life, so
I think your dad's talked about him before.
I'm like, well, whatever. My dad, it's crazy, but my dad don't care to see him, not even in a painting. You know, he just doesn't care to see him, and I'm like, wow.
I think I sent a picture of your uncle because your dad showed me a picture of him, and he's like, "Oh, those are my brothers, like all my brothers."
Oh yeah.
And then he pointed at one, and he was like, "Oh, he's an alcoholic, mucho alcohol."
Oh, that's probably
You look a little strung out too.
Yeah, I know who it is, but no, that's probably not the one. He's probably cool with that one, but his older brother, he's a real dick.
Yeah.
You know?
No, it's crazy because I mean, I grew up pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I grew up so good. Like my parents, when they were having money problems, they played it off so well that I didn't know we were poor. But I mean, but it was just like it was like the simple things, like fucking $5 pizzas from what is it, Little Caesars, you know. Mm-hmm. And then they're like near our house, and we lived in California. Near our house, there was like a public pool, but it almost looked like it had a slide and everything. Mm-hmm. Literally, I know it's only like $1 to get in, but like we'd go like almost every weekend, and I was like, yo, like I thought we had money, and like literally I know like that was like the little bit of money we had that they made it work with. So I lived a pretty good life, but it's crazy to think like your dad, and then probably like my parents too, like they grew up in some like terrible times, and like to see where they're at now, like I'm pretty sure they like. I wonder if there's times where your dad's just like, how am I here right now? Like, or how do I have the stuff I have? You know, like I have a home and I have like, 4 or 5 cars and I own a business.
When I work with my dad, we talk about it, dude. And he literally I'll tell him, I'm like, you're balling.
Yeah, he is.
Like, you're balling, man. And he's just like, yeah, I've been, God's been good to me and I've been very fortunate. And I'm like, no, you're balling, man. Like compared to what you were. He's like, yeah, I mean, you are the only one out of all your brothers
that's doing good,
who's doing extremely well, man.
Yeah,
like good job.
Do like you have like family members that like think you guys like rich?
No.
Well, some like with my family, like we'll have people where they just assume like we have money, like because like when I was younger, we'd still always go to San Diego, like to the beach and stuff. So they're just like, oh, like must be nice, and like they'd always consider us like the rich people. I'm like, we're not like, and I never noticed it, but like my parents would get mad because they were always asking for money and stuff.
Well, it's weird because I think people take a certain like perspective on stuff. Mm-hmm. Like if they see somebody, like for example, your parents, I'm pretty sure they made it work. Like they worked with what they had, and they made the best of it. Mm-hmm. They figured it out. They formulated some kind of plan to make sure they gave you guys a good life, and you guys were having fun. Yeah, especially to keep you guys from thinking or from just to distract you guys. You guys are kids. You guys need to have fun. It's not your fault that they're going through some struggles that you don't need to know about, Yeah. So they're like, all right, well, we got to distract the kids. Let's work out a plan. Yeah. San Diego, the beach, your guys' getaways. But other people look at that and they're like, well, how the fuck do they have that kind of money? Yeah. Like, how the fuck do they have that kind of money? Or why? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. And for people like that, you don't need to get it. Mm-hmm. You need to figure out your shit. Yeah. That's what you need to do. You need to think like, oh, good for them. Mm-hmm. instead of saying, "Oh, it must be nice," and you should probably be asking yourself, "Well, what can I do so I could be there like that?" You know, why don't I go talk to him, man? Hey, how do you do it? Like, help me.
Yeah.
I want to have that. I want to be able to take my kids to that kind of shit too, instead of just jumping to the gun and be like, "Hey, fucking must be nice, fucking rich guy."
Yeah.
Huh? Like, must be fucking
just
nice.
straight
right?
hating. You're like,
yeah, straight hating, right? Like,
the stuff we do isn't that expensive. Like, chill.
like, dude, if you stop being retarded and paid attention to, and actually did do some research and look, all right, where are they going?
Yeah.
How much? What car are they taking? They don't even know what kind of car. What if you're going on a fucking bus?
Yeah.
You know, what if you got a rented car for fucking $50 the day and you got a $400 car? You're like, they don't know anything.
Maybe they had like a discount code or something.
Right, there you go. You got a discount code. Fuck, we use Jordan's military.
No, you know what's and it's funny is when I was younger, so we lived in California. We lived in a neighborhood that was like Barclay Ranch. It was a nice neighborhood. Like all the houses looked the same. There was like a 2-story single. There was like a 2-story, 1-story, 2-story. You know, like how the houses go.
Yeah.
So we lived in a 2-story house, and at the time I was like, "Yo, we got it big. Like we have a 2-story house, and it was probably like a 2-story house. I think it was 1, 2, 3 bedrooms and like an office, and it was it was a nice, really nice house. So I thought we were living good, and then we moved down to the valley right here, and then at that point we lived in like a 1-story house, and I used to think like. No, I didn't think that we were broke. I didn't think that we downgraded. All I thought was like, oh, so like this area of the town doesn't have 2-story houses. Like that's why we don't have one because they don't have one over. They don't have one over here.
This is the part,
But I never thought like, oh, I didn't literally. I know we downgraded. Yeah, because it was more affordable. But
you're just like, okay, we went from that side to that side.
Yeah,
but that side doesn't have 2 stories.
They don't make them over here.
They don't make them.
But that's such like I told you though the story about me. Not knowing how to ride a bike. Like it's just
I didn't know
stuff like that. Yeah.
Like my dad didn't show.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Hey kid, why are you riding that fucking? Why are you pushing your bike? Well, my dad didn't want to come and teach me. That's what happened.
Yeah. And there was times too, like when my dad would buy me like remote control cars and they needed batteries and like that was like. And the sad thing was like that was like the joke like within my mom and her friends. They'd be like, "Oh, did he give you batteries this time?" Like, because I had like a remote control and I didn't have batteries for it. They're like, he bought me that, but he didn't bring the batteries with it. So it's like the next day after my birthday party, I couldn't play with it because I had to. Oh, we still got to go get batteries for it. So from then on, it was like, oh, he got you that? Does it come with batteries? Like, and dude, I'm like 8 or 9. I'm like, you fucking assholes.
He brought me the bike, but he does not going to teach me how to ride it.
Yeah, what are you expecting to do with this thing?
It's like YouTube it.
Yeah. Damn, that's a thing too. Is like now, like
you can do that now.
YouTube wasn't a thing then.
Now your dad can do that.
Now, yeah.
Now your dad can go.
Now he has that excuse.
Drop off a bike, you know. Like,
I expected you to YouTube
with the note, with the note to a link.
That's just like a 2020 thing,
right?
But do you remember the first YouTube video you watched?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's a very Mexican one. It's a very classic.
I think it was the same one I watched.
La Caída de Edgar.
Wait, what's that?
You watched that? You watched it? You watched it, right? It's called La Caída de Edgar. It's 2 kids. They're like by a river, kind of like.
That's the one I saw. I know that's what it was called. Yeah, like Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yeah, I honestly think that's the first YouTube video ever.
Puto la verga. I remember.
And then when he falls in the water, he's like.
That is a lot of people's first YouTube video.
Right? Yeah, so that makes me think
extremely famous.
Yeah, that makes me think that was the first YouTube video like ever.
Right?
Or maybe that was the first one to go viral.
If you YouTube it, whatever you want as La Caída de Edgar, that's the original video and audio comes out, man.
All you gotta do is put Yahweh and then it comes out.
Or Yahweh. That's the new one, right? Yahweh.
I swear everyone knows that. So like they know exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But like that, yeah, that's what I was thinking of the other day. I was like, that's one of those things. Like I'm randomly on the computer. I'm like, I wonder what the first thing I ever like Googled was or looked up, or if Google was even a thing, you know?
Right.
But yeah, so YouTube. But no, I think everyone I've talked to, I think that's their first video they ever watched, and that makes me think like that's the first.
That's old.
Yeah, like
that's a long time. That's actually not that long ago. If you really think about it, that's not that long ago.
Definitely 20 plus years.
No.
When did YouTube even come out? Isaac, can you check when YouTube came out?
Dude, I was like 12 or 13, and now I'm 27, so about 14. It hasn't been 20 years, man. It hasn't even been 20 years.
I think YouTube came out like in Okay, not 20 years. Maybe like, I think YouTube came out in like 2003, 2005.
Probably around that time. But my favorite part of that video, dude, was
2005.
oh
2005, yeah.
boom.
See.
They launched their app in 2012.
Oh, the apps
Yeah.
came way later.
Fucking-
Apps themselves were like not even a
Dude,
thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was watching on fucking Windows 98.
Yeah. You know what we used to do? We used to get AOL. I guess AOL used to be internet. You know what AOL is, right? The messenger. So it
Yeah.
used to be internet.
Oh yeah.
So we used to get these CDs.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, we used to get these CDs in the mail, and they'd come with like a free like 30-day like
Yeah.
trial of internet. And I don't even know.
Stack of them, dude.
Yeah. So I would use it and throw it out, and like after my 30 days and get a new one. Like, and I would use different emails
Oh yeah.
because that's what I think it followed it. So
Followed by
it was
emails.
just like nowadays with a subscription. After
Yeah.
so many days, they start charging you.
Oh yeah.
So you just cancel it before it ends.
Yeah.
But
Cancel it.
yeah, so I
Here's
remember
another
that too, and that's when we lived here in Yuma actually, and I remember there was days where like we didn't have internet, so leading up to the time when I knew like I checked the mail to see if we got one of the CDs,
Right.
but like I have a notepad of all these websites I wanted to look up, like there's so many like or like random shit when I was in school like how long do turtles live? Like I would just write this shit down in a
Really?
notepad, yeah,
That's crazy.
and so and it's funny because now that I have a laptop, I only use my laptop literally to edit my videos and then like every now and then order stuff. But I think about it like my laptop's
look at shit.
my laptop's like useless right now because my phone does everything my laptop can do.
Yes.
So like when I first had a laptop, I never used it. Same thing with like an iPad. Like I never used them.
You ever open up your laptop and you're like, I got all this power in my hands, and I don't know how to use it. You know?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I look at my phone and there's so much shit on my phone that every day I'm learning something new about it. That's
Yeah.
something that like has been a thing in the phone from when
yeah.
it first came out, and it's like I'm barely finding out. But it's crazy.
Yeah, dude, technology has advanced so much, and it's just gonna, and it's advancing faster, and it's gonna get better.
Yeah.
You know, that's a scary part. It's gonna get better. And I mean, I'm sure you've seen those AI, not AI, the fucking the robots. The robots, like there's this comedian, I forgot her name, but she bought her own robot.
Fuck, you're talking about the sex dolls though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck. She's really pretty too. What's her name?
I don't know. Let's look her up.
It's a
real quick.
white girl. Oh my god,
Oh, yeah.
it's on the tip of my tongue. I can see her face. Just type in like female comedians.
Robot girl. Dope.
I want to find it before. See, that's another thing.
Winnie Cummings.
Winnie Cummings. Yes.
Damn, she's.
Yeah.
That's the perfect name for the fucking sex doll.
Yeah. Whitney Cummings.
Whitney's coming.
Or like a porn star name.
Right.
But
Oh,
see,
yeah.
when you were doing that, I don't know if you have this issue, but like I have this like it's like mental thing that whenever I'm like close to knowing what I'm thinking of, but I need to Google it, but I don't want to Google it. I want to figure it out on my own. Like, you know, you have those moments where you're like, don't tell me, don't tell me, don't tell me.
Yeah.
Like, and then when someone looks it up like you just did, I wanted you to find it, but not tell me. Because I wanted it to come to me. But I've always had that issue, though.
Yeah, that happens to me a lot, too. But I realize that if I don't know it at that moment, I should probably be told. That way I could fucking remember the next time, you know?
It's just like
chances are you're probably going to forget again. But I guess, you know, practice makes perfect.
Yeah. It's just like when I used to take tests. Like when I used to take tests, the teachers would always tell me, because you know you have the thing where you like taking a test and you look at an answer or a question, you're like looking and you're just like looking around trying to think, and they're always like, stop looking up to the sky, like the answer's not up there. Like they'd always tell me that.
I remember that. Right?
Yeah, so it's like, and if you don't know it now, you're not gonna know it ever. Like,
fuck you. Yeah.
And that's the thing.
What if I do find it up there though?
And that's the thing too is like I can. So there's times when I would actually study. So what I remember doing is I would stare at like the blank ceiling, and like I would try to imagine the book, and I would imagine where the pictures were. And I'd imagine the wording, and because like in like the school books, it'd be like a picture in the corner.
Yes.
So the wording would go here, and then it'd go across longer. And so I would try to imagine that. I remember just like highlighted words, or like there was like big words that at the bottom you'd have to read what they meant.
Mm-hmm.
So I legit like looking into the ceiling at the blank space. I'd be like, okay, like I can see like, all right. So I remember like they were talking about this, and then this one animal did this. But was it this animal? Was it an alligator? Or was it the fucking alligator? Or was it the crocodile? Like, which one was it? And I was like, okay, well, I think, and like it would come to me, and I was like, that does help me.
Yeah.
Like me staring at the paper is not helping me because the more I'm trying to think of the book and I'm looking at these words, I'm trying to fit those words into the book that I imagine in my head.
Right.
But I look at it in the ceiling and I'm like, I can see it in my head. Like I can see the way the book lays
It's like
out.
you're looking into your brain.
Yeah, like fucking Jimmy Neutron when he has like those brain blast things. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
and he
brain
like,
blast.
yeah. But
I remember that. Damn, Jimmy Neutron. That's old, man.
We're about the same age, right? You're
Yeah,
20. So, yeah, we're both 27.
Remember, did you ever watch the Jimmy Neutron movie?
Yeah, was that what the parents get taken away?
Yes.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
the green eggs.
Yeah.
So at the end of that movie, there's a music video, right, from Aaron Carter. It's weird. I discovered it one night when I was watching it, and I fell asleep, and then music woke me up, and it was that. I'm like, and I thought I was dreaming. I'm like, man, am I at my grandma's house? And my grandma's house had cable TV, and you could watch music videos on cable TV.
Oh yeah.
So my parents never had cable. To this day, they don't believe in cable.
No, antenna.
Right.
Or what
Antenna.
are they called?
Yeah, antenna.
Yeah,
Yeah.
antenna. We fucking have it here because of your sister.
Oh, yeah, it's a habit.
I'm
dude.
like, let's just get cable. She's like, no, I like the antenna.
It's weird. I never wanted an antenna in my house now because of that.
Doesn't it? Yeah.
It would bother the fuck.
It bothers the shit out of me that it's here.
My wife wanted one, and I was like, no, for what?
Why does she want it though?
Because she said she wants to downgrade on the cable because we don't watch most of the channels, and Univision is just she can just get it off the antenna.
Does she watch novellas?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not a whole lot though.
Oh no, Saida. She has one that comes on like I think at like 7 or 8.
Right, 7 or 8, and I'm like, no, I'm sorry, we ain't having that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so weird because there's certain things that I had growing up that I didn't like.
Yeah.
And I never want to have in my household. Like it's just one of those things where, like, I love my parents. They gave us a great life.
Yeah.
But I wanted cable TV.
Yeah.
And my mom was strict, and she was just like, "No, you don't need that shit. What do you mean? No, you don't need it. You don't need it." I'm like, "But like we're here during the summer and we're not doing anything."
Yeah, that's tough.
She's like, what do you want? How many movies you want? I rent you 2 or 3 movies and you can watch. Like, what? What am I supposed to watch? Yeah, watch them all 5 days. You rent it for 5 days. You're gonna watch 3 of them in 3 and then repeat them again. I'm like, no. And she's just like, it is what it is. I ain't got the money.
It almost I feel bad because by telling Saida like no, I don't want the antenna in our house. It's almost like I feel like I'm saying like no, I'm too good for that. Like if we need cable, like we'll get cable. Like I mean, we got Hulu, so it's somewhat cable. But I even told her I was like, yo, they have like a fucking Latin thing where you can.
They have the whole thing on Hulu.
Yeah,
but
so
whatever,
Yeah, but she likes it. She like thinks she's gonna miss on her shows. I don't know.
But it's a habit of just having it there live, and it's for her it might be nostalgic,
Yeah, and for her, I don't want to take that away from her. So we have it.
For me, it's not nostalgic. For me, it was just like. It was. It reminds me of a time where I just hated it. I'm like, oh, why can't I just turn on TV and put on MTV?
And there's times where like the thing kind of goes out of whack. It's all staticky.
And she runs over there and
no, she sends me. She's like, go move it. It's like more this way. No, put it back this way. And I'm like, let's just get cable. Come on,
I know, man. Right?
This is sad. Jesus it's 2020. What are we doing? Like, how the fuck do we even have this?
Why do we have this?
I think because your dad. I think he found it.
The antenna?
Yeah.
Probably. Here, so you could watch novelas. Yeah. I'm like, fuck, man.
And he'll come and he'll hook it up for us and everything. So.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
No, dude. That was one thing when growing up, man. I wanted cable so bad. It was so bad. And we never got it. Finally, I got it. And, I got my own place and everything. And we got it. And I'm like, I never want an antenna in my house.
Yeah.
I never want an antenna. It's just one of those things. It just reminds me of when my mom, like, we were okay, and I knew, I don't know, I suspected. I didn't know, I suspected that.
From the things they bought.
Right.
Yeah. You're like, we couldn't afford cable.
Like, I would see my mom, and she would spend money on stuff, like, in the house. That was, like, a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, my grandma pays, like, $39. My grandma lives in a trailer, Mom.
Oh, she had cable?
And she had cable, bro.
How the fuck?
Right, with the DVR. All right? If she had to go somewhere to the doctor or whatever, she'd just record it.
That's dope.
Right?
Yeah.
So my grandma been balling since then. Like, she took full advantage of America.
Yeah.
of the fucking privileges that this fucking country can give someone that came from another country, from a third world country, pretty much.
She probably had it way worse, so she was like, "No, I'm gonna fucking live my life here in America."
Dude. She did, and she did it by selling candy. It was weird. Yeah, Mexican candy.
Hey,
She slang that shit.
that's
dude.
that tax-free job right on.
Yeah, she slang like you wouldn't believe, man. She was like she was the spot. Like she lived in a trailer park over here by 8th Street and Avenue B.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. I think Sada showed me.
No, neighborhood Walmart.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, that's where your little cousin. She came over the other day. What's her name? Yeah, Idam.
Yeah.
And she came over and she was telling us all these crazy stories that she remembers that they went to go get donuts one time and like the fucking La Migra picked them up and took them back. Her mom, and like her aunt or something. Like,
they told her that they were gonna go get donuts.
No, they went to go get donuts
No,
at the donut shop, right? Or
no, they went to go pick up my cousin from work.
Oh,
He used to work at. I remember that story. Like yesterday.
She still remembers that she went to go get donuts.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like she thought that she was gonna go get donuts at Circle K.
Yeah.
Little did she know that her fucking cousin worked at Circle K. Well, I don't know why. I don't know how the fuck they that he didn't take the fucking car or whatever. But I don't know. Things happen for a reason, whatever. But I'm kind of I don't know if you could say I'm pessimistic or
You think it was a setup?
no. I just think it was like I think it was a stupid mistake.
Yeah.
On someone's part,
Mm-hmm.
because they literally got stopped because the light wasn't working.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of the tail lights wasn't working,
Yeah.
and that's how they got stopped.
Oh.
And that's
okay.
how they got caught.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And I honestly think if the owner of the car had been more responsible and taking care of his car and paid attention to his car,
He could have avoided
all
that.
the time. Yeah, knowing that other people are driving the car that aren't supposed to be here in this country.
Yeah.
You should probably take more care. Take care of the fucking car. Make sure every other day check.
Yeah, you don't
the
want
lights.
to. Yeah.
Make sure everything's 100%. Because if they're doing you the favor to pick you up from risking getting caught, picking you up from fucking work,
Yeah.
you should probably make sure that your car that you're letting them borrow is 100%. Right?
No. Yeah. When she told me the story, like it's. I thought I like her. She was cool because she couldn't tell us that story and laugh about it. Because her and Saida were going back and forth about, because obviously Saida's older, so she was like, "Do you remember this one time when like you had to hide out at my house? You had to hide out at my house because they were going door to door trying to find like illegals and stuff." She was like, "No, I don't remember." But she was like, "I remember the time we went to go get donuts and we got caught and they sent us back to Mexico." And she's laughing about it, and I'm like, "That's so cool that like even her, because she's still young. She's what, like 17, 18?
Yeah.
Yeah, 18. So like even her, like to experience something like that and to just like see it as like a joke or like that was just a time in my life. Like look at me now, you know? And now she's going to college here. Like she's good. But
because I'm glad. Yeah, because it didn't really affect her. I mean, I guess it did.
like
it always does.
mentally and stuff. It might have,
but they how do I say it? I'm trying to find the words for it. They made the best of it. Of the situation,
exactly.
You know how they say you can't control the situation, but you can control how you react to it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So that's pretty much what everybody did.
Mm-hmm.
There was like, oh well, like whatever. Now let's find let's react to this in a positive way and make the best of it and make it work.
Yeah.
And they did. And I'm fucking happy for them.
Yeah. It's so funny because when like probably the first year that I was dating Saida, your sister, since you being the oldest, I always just assumed that you were the one that was born in Mexico, went to school in Mexico, and then you were the one that like came over here with your parents
and fucked everybody up.
Yeah.
Fucked everything up, right?
But little did I know, like you were born here and you went to school here and like everything. Like, you're like full American.
Yeah.
So I would always tell Saida like, "Oh, you mean like your brother needs to go back?" So we were talking about back in Mex. Have you ever? I know I'm terrible at that. It's either that or my fillers where I cuss too much.
Right.
It's one of those. But I'd rather curse and say something than be like,
Right.
No, I was gonna ask you. Being in from Max and stuff, did you guys ever come across like any cartel activity?
No.
No, I
I've
really
never.
was hoping so.
No, fuck that.
Damn. So like, there's times when it's so sad.
Oh,
too.
fuck you. Hoping so.
Oh, I don't know.
I hope you got abducted one time.
No,
right?
not
You
like
got
that.
away, you
No,
gotta
not
sort
like that. But
yourself.
like, I
Fuck
mean, just
that.
being in like Mex, like at a party, and you just hear like gunshots nearby or something. You know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Cause I've
Yeah.
gone and I've there's been times where like
all the time.
we're at a party and you just hear like fucking machine guns going off and they're like, oh god, again. And I'm like, again, like, shouldn't we get down or something?
Yeah, at the clubs. After the clubs, when I was, like I told you, when I was going with my family and all that. Every now and then, man, you're leaving the club and you just hear pa pa pa. And yeah, unfortunately, you do have that reaction when you're living in Mex, man. You're just like, oh.
Yeah. Or just like
Someone fucked with the wrong guy.
Yeah,
the wrong guy. Or I remember one time, did it happen? I don't know if, I don't think I was there. I think they told me. But I've heard the story, but I remember the story so vividly that I feel like I was there sometimes.
Yeah, I have those sometimes.
You know,
Where it's
but,
like,
but I think someone told me that they blocked the bathroom because some guy got shanked in the bathroom or some shit, got somebody's throat or some shit like that.
Oh,
There's
shit.
just like fucking blood waterfall in the fucking bathroom. So I remember that. So I don't know who it was. I think it was a buddy of mine. Probably not even a buddy of mine. Probably somebody I just knew that was always at a club or something.
I remember when I was in high school, was it Tijuana?
TJ.
For a while they had shut down the border. Like no one from the States could go into Mex because in San Diego or like near the border and stuff, they were hanging like bodies from the railroad tracks, like the little bridges that go across. Yeah, and that was a thing, right? It's one of those things. Like I've heard it.
They were
So I was like, wait,
they were
is it
hanging bodies with no heads, or they were just hanging
dropping
heads.
off, or they were just dropping off bodies or something. And it's so crazy
yes,
because
and TJ, that was real.
yeah, and so they had to shut down the border. We couldn't even like go across no more. But and it's funny because I heard that on the Mexican news with my grandma, and I was telling Saida like Mexican news is they say everything. They talk about everything. They show everything. I told Saida there's been times where I remember my grandma would watch the news before she went to bed. I think it was Primer Impacto or something.
Primer Impacto.
Yeah, that show, right? And they used to show. I told Saida they used to show like hidden cameras in garages.
Yes,
I remember this vividly, and it'd be like a dad beating the shit out of his kid. Yeah, like punching him like bad, and they would just blur the faces out, but they would show it. Yeah, I'm like, oh shit. And then there was a time Saida remembers it because I remember the first time I hung out with her, or not the first time, but like one of the times we hung out. Yeah. Like I remember telling her, and she was like, yeah, I did see that. Do you remember? There was a time that Mexican news announced that they think they saw a witch. And yeah, and it was going over a mountain in over the moonlight, and it was like what? And I remember as a young kid, because to me witches weren't like ghosts. Like ghosts, I was like, okay, maybe that's a thing, but witches, like that's just like a hocus pocus. Like, it's just like a made up thing just to scare kids. So then when Mex put that out, like Mex News was like, oh, like and just if you go on YouTube, I swear to God, you go on YouTube.
It was in October, and it was when the moon was nice, big, bright, and orange. I remember that. Yeah,
and it was so if you can go on YouTube, Saida found it. She found the same clip that I watched when I was little, like probably like 5 or 6 years old.
You can see some.
No, and it looks like it because it looks like someone like all you see is a person, like a full body person with like a stick going through. And you just see, and it's like slowly like floating over, and then they interview some like overnight security guard, like, and he was saying that he got attacked by the witch, right? And there's these people like saying like, oh, we saw it too, like, oh, dude, it was just crazy.
Let's dive deep into that. That'll be a fun conversation.
Yeah, definitely.
I would just think about the fucking, just. What are the chances of that actually being fucking real, bro?
I don't know. And honestly, after being in 2020 and seeing that video and back in the day, like with everything going on with like UFOs, government is finally putting out like, aliens are probably real. Like we have actual UFOs, all this shit. It makes me think like all the things we see in movies, like what if that is real? Like, when people see stuff and like, you're like, oh, that would never happen. And they're like, it's just a movie, chill. Like, what if that's real? Like, what if things that happen in movies are just giving us a heads up? Like, yo, this is something that can really happen. Like UFOs coming and taking over the world, or fucking witches or ghosts and shit. Like all this stuff. And it comes to the point where it's like, it's so ludicrous, the idea that it's like, that can't be real.
I I remember that clip. I remember being scared too, and I was like, "Fuck, witches are fucking real."
Yeah, now I got to worry about witches.
Now, yeah, right. There's enough shit going on in the fucking world I gotta worry about. I gotta worry about the fucking kid at school that wants to whoop my ass, and I gotta worry about a fucking witch coming and fucking turning me into a cat. Fuck.
Yeah.
You know? And you know, but I just don't think like that could be an actual thing. There's just it's just I don't even know why Mexico fucking puts up fucking this type of things, dude.
I don't
Like,
know.
they literally have nothing to put up sometimes.
I even told Sider that I remember there was ones where this guy said that his that there was the devil was in his basement and they were throwing dude, it was scary. Like they went down in the basement with the camera crew and everything, and he was like, look, every time, and he would throw like a broom or something and it would get thrown back.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is real news. Like this isn't like a fucking a show.
Right. It's
like
not
this
it's
is
not fucking
like
ghost hunters.
Yeah, 1 minute they're talking about fucking the president, and the
Right.
next they're talking about like the devil in their
Right,
basement.
devil in the basement.
Yeah.
Right? That's all bullshit.
It has to.
gotta
It's all
be
for
bullshit,
ratings.
dude. Yeah, it's all for views.
They have to
as
mix
well.
in real news with like fake news,
right?
Yeah.
You gotta keep the audience entertained, right? They're bored after the fucking president fucking said some retarded shit, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, we did our best to catch the cartel guys. It didn't work out, but there's this guy has a fucking ghost in the fucking basement, or
Yeah.
a fucking devil trying to attack him, like, and
But
everybody's like, whoa.
But see,
and
like,
then Mexico is super fucking religious, man.
oh yeah,
They're
yeah.
like they're
Another one.
top-notch believers.
Did
bro.
you ever see the one in I don't know where, it's somewhere in Mexico, but it was the Virgin Mary crying blood?
Yes.
Like that's fucking Mexico news,
How come we never see that shit here?
right?
How
Like-
come shit like that don't happen here?
I don't know. I think
And how come they never caught it in action when it first started?
I think what it is like we think more like come on.
Logical?
Yeah,
Like,
we're
more-
like not that Mexicans are ignorant and they're dumb or anything. They
They're
just
not.
they know what brings the audience, and obviously it works.
But the fucking
But-
Mexican media is pretty fucking ignorant.
Yeah. So it's like, but I think with like America, like say if like they like someone sent in a video of like a witch flying, they're like, we're not gonna fucking air that. They're gonna think we're retarded. Like they're gonna think we're dumb.
Right?
Like we're gonna put that like, oh yeah, there's witches in real life. Okay.
And that, dude, Photoshop and all the fucking Adobe products were still out there.
yeah.
That's when shit was free.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You could
There was a
definitely-
trial period. Like there was like
Yes.
their trial year.
Right.
Yeah.
Trial. And there was fucking Mexico, especially in Mexico, when you have kids that don't have much to do in Mexico.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all they focus on. They just focus on editing videos and making fun shit, like the other guy,
Oh.
and all that shit. You know, like someone edited that fucking video, and a witch. It's so fucking cliche, dude. The witch with the fucking broom.
Yeah. See, that's
Like,
the thing.
is that exactly like that's such a cliche? I'm saying it again, but it's a cliche thing,
Cliche. Yeah.
and it is like it's so unoriginal.
Also, like I think if witches were real, they would be something that like probably makes potions and reads shit out of like
That's still
spells.
hocus pocus shit.
Yes, but I don't believe the whole flying on brooms. Like why are we flying on brooms?
You know what I do believe though?
Like why was that even a thing? Like this is like what they do.
You know what's more realistic than that stupid video on the news?
Let me guess, Bigfoot.
The Blair fucking Witch.
What's the Blair Witch?
You never seen the Blair Witch
Oh,
Project?
the movie. Yeah.
That seemed more
That was the first like what do they call it? Like it's like a POV, like a point of view. Like the one that looks
first
like it's
person or whatever they
like
call
first person, yeah, like where it looks like it's recorded from a camera and not like an actual like high.
it. That was fucking phenomenal.
You know, I've never seen that movie.
It is fucking. It's you can't see anything.
Exactly. That's why I never watched it, because I never saw a ghost. I never saw anything that really scary. It was just the reactions.
But
and
if you pay attention to it and you and you zone it and you zone in and you understand they're in the fucking woods, they can't find a fucking exit.
Mhm.
There's these fucking voodoo dolls hanging all over the place. Everybody's going nuts. North is everywhere.
Mhm.
Like anywhere they go is north.
Yeah.
You know? And they're like, okay, let's go north. North is where we parked. That's where we started, right? Because they're going south. I don't know wherever direction they were going to. I can't even remember. But like their fucking compass, they were turned south, and then it was north.
Good
They
point.
turned east,
Good point.
and it was north. They turned west.
Maybe their fucking compass
North.
was just broken.
Right? Maybe it was, but they had no exit. They couldn't figure out where they were going. Like it was just crazy shit, dude. Like And the voodoo dolls is where it fucking got me. That's where I was like, oh, fuck, dude. Like, this is fucking insane. Like, I really zoned into it, and I was thinking about it, and I'm like, if witches were real, this is the kind of shit that they wouldn't show their face.
Mm-hmm.
What they would do, they'd leave messages. That's what a fucking witch would do. In my opinion, that's what I think. They'd leave messages. They'd leave fucking huge voodoo stick dolls. And if I were a witch, I'd make a voodoo stick doll with a real human head on it. That's what I would fucking do. And scare a motherfucker.
It's October, so I might have to watch it.
I've
never watched the movie.
Or there's another one on Netflix. It's kind of similar. It's called The Ritual.
Mm-hmm.
That one's good. What else is I don't want to ruin it for you, but just watch The Ritual. The Ritual is pretty good.
I'll watch it tonight.
And there's I love scary movies. There's a bunch of them. Fuck, I can't think of anything right now. But I that one stuck because it reminded me of the Witch.
The Witch.
Just Witch. I think.
That's the one.
I don't know if it's The Witch.
I think
or
it's The Witch. It's the one that takes place way back in the day, huh?
Yes.
That's not scary though. I watched it and I remember.
Oh, you did watch it?
Yeah, I remember.
It's suspenseful.
My buddy and his wife were like, "Yo, we just watched a movie and like we had to stop it. Like they watched that at night. They're like, we had to stop. We had to finish in the morning." I'm like, okay, well, you know.
What about have you watched Hereditary?
I haven't, and I want to, because that one. And I've seen so many clips. I've seen the one where the little girl sticks her head out the window and gets her head cut off. I've seen the one where it's like her head getting eaten by flies. Like so much fucked up shit. And that one where the guy bashes his face into the movie. You know what's funny is that guy, that actor. Do you ever remember a show on Nickelodeon called what was it called?
I had no cable TV, bro.
Oh,
I probably don't fucking remember.
That's right. You did say that. Well,
God, you see, this is one of those moments where
I wish
I'm
I
like,
fucking cable.
fuck, man. I would have been more. I could have related more to that fucking story.
And I've met like so many friends that are like I'll like bring up a show and they're like, I remember that show. And it's like what is it? Are You Afraid of the Dark? Yo, fucking Aside even knows what that is.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like Nickelodeon. They tell scary stories. It's really good though. But anyways,
I know Stories of the Crypt.
Oh, that's a good one. Tales from the Crypt. Yeah, that's a good one.
Tales
from the Crypt. Yeah. But what were we talking about?
Fuck, scary movies, bro.
Oh yeah. But no,
are Afraid of the Dark, some shit like that.
No, Hereditary. But yeah, so like, that like I was saying, like the kid that plays in that movie, he comes from like a Nickelodeon show.
Yeah, the little Indian kid.
Yeah, the Indian kid. He was in that movie about the Boston bombing.
Oh, was he with Mark
with
Wahlberg?
Yeah, he was one of the bombers.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
It was him and his brother that did it.
Holy shit!
But yeah, so it's funny because that kid comes from a show in Nickelodeon. I can't remember. I'm gonna put it up right here because I'm gonna find it later when I'm editing the video.
Okay.
But yeah. There's something. They're like in a little band or something. But whatever. But it's funny to see like that because I used to watch that with my little brother because when he was younger that was like his show that he liked to watch.
And you see him in a fucking
now
movie
I see
like
him
that?
now in like such dramatic movies. Yeah.
You're like, damn, this guy fucking put in some fucking
like the
work.
one where he bashes his face. I heard that's real too. It's not like no edit. Like I heard when they filmed the movie, he went full on and just bashed his face into the desk.
Damn, man. I mean, you got to get a paycheck, you know.
Yeah.
Brain damage.
I know the answer, but I want to just get into this conversation with you. Do you believe in ghosts?
Do
you believe? Okay. Do you believe in like just the
paranormal?
Stuff? Yes, but like ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot, fucking UFOs.
I don't believe in Bigfoot for sure.
Me neither, right? That's always been one that like never caught my attention. Or like the Loch Ness Monster.
Rogan's fucking comedy bit on Bigfoot.
I think I've heard it.
But
you can tell me.
How about the guy? One of the guys is telling him, "Hey, Bigfoot is bullshit, dude. It was just what if it was just a bunch of dudes that went out to the fucking forest or wherever and fucking in a Bigfoot suit, and they're recording him and say, "Hey, look, we found Bigfoot," and then the other guy tells him, "Well, that could be right, but what if they went dressed as Bigfoot and then they actually found the real Bigfoot?"
Oh, and like the dressed up Bigfoot met the real Bigfoot?
Right. He's like, what if that happened? He's like, could you imagine the mind fuck? You know, like, fuck, you're right, man.
Yeah.
He's like, and then he's like, what would Bigfoot do though if you would see somebody that looked like him, right?
Yeah.
And according to the world, there's only one Bigfoot.
Oh, that's the thing?
I think so. I've never heard of any. I've never heard of like Bigfoot's got a family. I've never heard that.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, I've always heard, Bigfoot. We found Bigfoot. Bigfoot here, Bigfoot there, right? The guy that killed Bigfoot and Hitler. Have you seen that from Hulu?
Bigfoot killed Hitler?
No, it was the guy that killed Bigfoot, Hitler, and I don't know who else.
No, but you saying that would be a dope movie if they made Bigfoot got abducted by aliens. And the aliens killed Hitler. Like just some random, like just some huge conspiracy movie, all combined in one.
It exists, but you gotta find it. The guy's pretty badass too. The guy that I haven't seen it, but I know who the guy is, and I've seen his old school movies, and he's a pretty good actor. Guy with the big mustache always plays a fucking cowboy character. I keep forgetting his name.
Oh yeah.
He's always in fucking these hardcore.
He's in that Netflix show, The Ranch.
Yeah,
the dad.
Yeah, I think so.
People know what I'm talking about. Yeah, he's a good looking dude with white hair.
Yeah.
White mustache.
Big
thick
ass mustache. Yeah, everybody wants that mustache.
Yeah. What now are you talking
That's
about?
the stash. But anyway,
they made a movie like that?
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's called The Man That Killed Bigfoot and...
You stepped on the light.
What are you doing?
Dude, he's fired again, dude. Every fucking episode, he does some shit. Now you just change the lighting. You know how to reset it.
God damn.
I like it, though. It adds comedy to this show. Because they're like, oh, that's the dude that always gets fired.
Right.
Dude,
fired and rehired.
or before this, he would always drop his phone and the phone would hit the camera and it'd shake. Or he'd bump the camera.
Right. Oh, good.
But I think it's cool. But
no, anyway, there's a movie. Look it up.
I need to watch that. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
No, I don't believe in Bigfoot at all. Like I said, like if that guy's, I mean, from Rogan's comedy bit, if that was like a real story, and I think he continues on and says like, what if like what would Bigfoot do? Not verbatim, but what he was saying was like, what if Bigfoot, they really ran into the real Bigfoot, and Bigfoot saw this other dude dressed as another Bigfoot, and you're the only Bigfoot in the fucking world. You're alone. And what if Bigfoot is a dude? Bigfoot hasn't fucked in forever. You know?
I didn't think about that. Yeah. I was trying to go where you were going. I was trying to see where you're going with this.
Yeah, Bigfoot hasn't fucked in forever if he's the only fucking Bigfoot in the world. And then he sees another one of his kind. He's like, I'm fucking that one.
Yeah.
Imagine
tired of
that.
jerking off. Yeah.
I mean, just think about it. Imagine if the guy in the suit got fucking raped by Bigfoot.
That'd be a story.
He went in. He's like, let's just fucking fuck it. Let's just pretend that we did find Bigfoot. And then we go in and there's fucking Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And Bigfoot come chasing after you and bends you over and fucking just rams you in.
I got
with
raped by Bigfoot.
Dick.
Yeah.
And if he's Bigfoot, he must pack
what
a
if,
fucking heavy.
What if he
fucking
doesn't,
wank.
though? Like, imagine, because, like, I always... So,
He
what
must be
was
packing
it?
heavy.
Oh, fuck. There was something I just saw recently, and they were talking about some really tall guy, and he had a small dick, though. But it's just those things, like, you always imagine, like, oh, he's a tall dude, he's got big feet, he's got to have a big dick, you know?
Right.
But, like, there's times...
Stereotype type things.
Yeah. But there's times, like, even if he's white, it doesn't matter the color, like, race or nothing. But it's just, like, there's people out there, like, they're big as shit, they got big hands, big feet, big old head and shit, big ears, and it's, like, little
Package
dick.
doesn't match.
Little dick.
It
Yeah.
don't match.
It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't match. It's incompatible with the rest of the body.
It just like everything like downloaded
It
except for
glitched.
that one. Yeah,
It glitched.
it's as far
There
as
was a
it got.
glitch. It all came from bottom to top and it just went. Oh fuck! Well, you
We
got
don't have
that
enough
one.
left of there.
Right, but like that meme, right, where it says, "Here's God creating me." He's like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and
Yeah.
a ton of handsome. And so him, who was like a big ass feet, big ass hands, fucking big everything, and I ran out of powder. You get some of that, dick. You get some. You're like
leftover.
that.
Yeah.
Did you know that the salt, the little things on the bottom of the salt thing, if you put another one and you go like that, it'll throw
Yeah.
a bunch of salt.
Yeah.
So
that's one of
probably
those
what
like
happened
life
there,
hacks.
right? The left,
Yeah.
So the leftovers, you had to go like that. I'm like, oh, well, that's all you got, son. Yeah.
But
You got
so
what you got.
we got off track a little bit talking about dick and stuff. But no,
Bigfoot,
Bigfoot.
for sure. No.
Bigfoot. Okay,
I
Loch
do-
Ness monster,
No.
right? That's
No.
another one too. Like those two. Like anytime I go, it's like so. Like if I'm like on YouTube late at night and like fucking man finds Bigfoot or man has Bigfoot proof or Loch Ness monster shows up in 2020, I'm like I'm not gonna watch it. Like, but if I see like ghost encounters or UFOs and shit in the sky, I'm gonna watch those videos. They kind of get my attention more Because Bigfoot and like the other one were just like, this is clearly made up. Like this is 100% not true. Like, and I've met people that are like, oh no, I believe in Bigfoot. Like I want to meet him. I'm like, are you fucking serious?
Meet who?
Yeah, I know. What? Who? The
Bigfoot.
fuck?
I want to meet Bigfoot.
You want to meet a big ass gorilla? Go for it. That's all. That's all Bigfoot is.
You mean to tell me that you know someone who knows where Bigfoot is at, and that's why you want to meet him? I want to meet Bigfoot.
But you blow my mind because I didn't know that.
What the fuck?
I didn't know Bigfoot was a one person.
Well, I don't know either. But like I said, I've never heard anybody say there's a Bigfoot family.
Very true. But I can't. But there's proof that like I've seen videos where.
Want to fact check that, Isaac?
Hey, I like that you brought that up. I should start doing that with Isaac. Give him a laptop and just
you want to fact check that
That's
shit
nice.
real quick.
But no, because I feel like there's been Bigfoot in Texas. I feel like there's Bigfoot in Indiana, Montana, Colorado. Like he's just in these woodsy areas. So I'm like, okay, if this one Bigfoot is just traveling, how the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying?
That guy's in shape.
But you know what? I don't know if you
run a
do you have
marathon.
TikTok?
No.
Dude, okay, so I have TikTok. But sometimes some
I'll
people
open one.
yeah, you should. It's one of those things you just get. You don't post anything. You just have it to watch other people's stuff. And sometimes I come across these people that post like they always post these things called like if you think 2020 was bad, like it can get worse. And they show these things like NASA just found out that there's another planet that we can easily survive on, or NASA just or fucking scientists just found like 10 more species under the sea. Oh, so anyways,
interesting
so
shit.
right. So they always bring that up. So there was one that they brought up, and it was that somewhere in Egypt, I don't know, somewhere like in a different country, they were digging up bones and they found that like giants existed. They found like skulls that were like the size, like probably like the size like 6 feet tall.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah. And I'm watching and I'm like, is this even real? And if it is, I never even thought like, oh, like giants, like that could be a real thing.
Never considered it.
Never, no.
Like,
I was just like, Jack and the Beanstalk, cool, that's a fairy tale.
or BFG.
You know, yeah.
Bigfoot giant.
Yeah.
Like,
But like, so when I saw that, I was like, wait, so you're telling me that there's a possibility that somewhere, whether it was like fucking
a million years ago or
years ago,
There's
there was
big-ass
giants
people.
roaming the world. Yeah.
It's big ass people.
Like
walking
7
around.
foot people aren't the tallest people in the world. It gets bigger.
Wow.
Do you believe in dinosaurs? And do you think that was the thing that happened?
Yes. Yes, it's weird. It's weird because I don't know, man.
But
It's so weird. I hate to. I love my dad. My dad's super religious, man.
yes, and I know you're gonna go to that. And I'm glad you brought it up because I was gonna bring that
And
up.
my fucking.
Because I know your guys' mindset.
I hate bursting my dad's bubble sometimes, but a lot of the Bible
Mm-hmm.
came off of other books.
Oh, okay.
Other books from other people. Other like fuck, I can't even think of the word, but like it came from certain ancient Italian books, stories.
Yeah.
From ancient Italian, Roman, and way back in those times, they were all stories.
Mm.
They were real. They were made up shit. Like it's fucked up, man. But if you dig deep enough,
Mm.
a lot of the Bible shit are literal stories and fake just stuff to make people believe and give them something to hope. And I know I researched it, but I forgot. But you know, when you go back to the Bible, it did say in the Bible that God created some creatures before He created mankind, before He created people in His image.
And that was the dinosaurs.
And I truly believe those were dinosaurs because He created creatures before men.
Sorry to interrupt, but they found it in China not too long ago.
What is it?
That's not true. That's not real.
What is it?
They say they created a dinosaur.
I hope I hope that they can genetically modify dinosaurs.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty awesome. And
Save
scary.
that video so I can post it.
And scary.
Yeah.
That'd be
This was
Cool.
September 29th when it happened.
yeah, that'd be cool and scary at the same time because
It would be.
right?
Because
Like, I've seen
you
Jurassic
watch
Park.
Jurassic
son.
Park, exactly. You watch that shit and like, they turn it into like a theme park, and it's like, okay, but would you really want to see that? Like the one that scared me the most was in the newest Jurassic Park when that fucking big ass like alligator shark comes out of the water to eat a great white. And it's 10 times, like 100 times bigger than it.
Right.
And I'm thinking, and they're all watching it like in a show with a big ass fence. And I'm like, no.
It's a fucking predator.
What if
whale.
it gets out of the water? What if it goes into like a lake? Like there's so much shit.
There's so much shit that can go wrong.
Yes.
Like what if it adapts?
Exactly.
What if it says, I could live out of the water like fucking turtle?
Yeah.
You know, and I'll just eat everything that's walking. Why do I have to wait till something passes by me? And then I have to eat it when I could just walk the fuck out.
Exactly.
Just wait a little bit.
Why do I have to eat only fish?
Right? Adapt and eat some good fucking giraffe, man. You know? You know?
But at the same time, like, can you imagine, like, just marrying the girl and not ever having sex with her? Like never having sex with anyone, and you finally just met a girl just based off emotions, based off the way you guys hang out, like the chemistry you have, and then it's like you get married, and the first time you have sex ever, you're a virgin. The first time you ever have sex is with this girl that you just married that you're gonna spend the rest of your life with. Mm-hmm. The first time you have sex, it's whack as shit. She sucks at giving blowjobs. She doesn't know how to ride. Like all this, so much shit can happen, and you're just like, fuck. Like I'm stuck with this for the rest of my life. Like, don't
but
you?
You're a virgin too.
But don't you have to?
So how you know?
No, I think you know because I feel like, say you
in a world like this, you probably have a general idea.
I'm just saying, like, say you see like certain reactions that people get when they have sex, and whether it's movies, even movies or porn.
Pornhub fucked up.
Whether it's like porn,
people wanting to live by the Bible.
Whether it's porn or even movies, like sex scenes in movies that don't show everything, but you just see the face expressions they make and the way they feel, and you're just like, I didn't get that my first time I had sex. Like it was kind of whack, and it's just like, I want what I saw on TV. I want you're stuck like that because you lived your life by the Bible, and that's just how God said it. Like you're supposed to have sex with one person only, and it's just like that's not.
I mean,
it's something that people do, but it's not
to a certain
something,
extent.
Yeah,
you're right because of the different era, different times.
It's like test driving one car and just this car works, and then you just keep that car for the rest of your life, and you get fucking flat tires, you get a transmission problem, you get terrible leaks. You can't just switch it out because that's the one car that for the rest of your life. It's the same thing. I don't like to compare relationships to fucking
tangible things,
like actual things, but it's just the way you gotta look at it.
Well,
and it sucks because people live
selling
their life.
Cars myself.
Hey,
to be quite honest with you. Some people only test drive one car and say, I love it.
There's an ass for every seat.
There's an ass for every seat. Remember that?
Yeah.
But anyway.
Hopefully Joe watches this.
Ew.
He's going to be like, oh, my two fucking guys? All right, cool.
But anyway, unfortunately, people are like that.
Yeah. Anyone listening or watching, what we're getting at is, me and Marcos used to work at a consignment dealership.
Consignment dealership.
We worked at a car dealership together. So the things we were just talking about was stuff that we used to talk about when we worked there, and things that our boss taught us.
Yeah, that man had a lot of knowledge, man. I'm telling you.
Dude, I wish I could get him on the podcast, but I feel like it'd be like too awkward.
No,
and I also like that's the thing.
I don't think he'll find the time.
Yeah,
he's a busy man.
Definitely.
But
he's a wealthy man, so yeah.
No, man. But, fuck, living like that, and by the book. It's definitely possible. Anything's possible.
But it's not fun, though.
Oh, fuck. No, it's not fun.
Not at all.
School's not fun either, but people go through it.
Because they get this false idea that I have to go to school to be successful.
Like they look at the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
Yeah. The only way I can make millions of dollars, the only way I can own companies, the only way I can run a business is if I go to school.
Right. Have somebody else teach me that doesn't have a business.
Yes. Like you said, if I have this paper, then they know what they're talking about, and I'm gonna learn from them. And little do you know that they don't even own a business themselves, but they're gonna teach you how to run a business, but they don't have their own business.
50 said something really smart, dude. And I never forget this, and that's why I never went.
The rapper 50 Cent?
Yeah, 50 Cent. That's why when I was in college and I wanted to take a business class, it was so weird. I was looking into like researching business classes, right? And in the middle or somewhere in my research, 50 Cent's video came up. I don't know. It just said 50 Cent on business and college, right? And 50 Cent said, so there's this guy, not executive, right? But there's this guy. He's going to teach me about business and how to build my business and my own company and all this good stuff, right? He's going to teach me this stuff. But the guy teaching me, he himself doesn't have a business, doesn't own a business, isn't fucking rich. He's fucking teaching me how to become rich, supposedly. How am I supposed to believe this fucking guy that doesn't that's working for a school and he doesn't have his own business,
making minimum wage,
doesn't
complaining that teachers don't make enough money,
right?
Yeah,
doesn't drive a nice car probably, or a decent car, or not the car that I want at least, how am I supposed to sit here taking all this information and expect that I'm gonna be like fucking Hugh Hefner or fucking Dan Bilzerian? Well, Dan Bilzerian is a fucking fraud, I heard now.
Yeah,
but
he's a fraud.
I'm Mark Zuckerberg, or I'm gonna end up like fucking these rich guys like
Jeff Bezos,
Jeff Bezos, or fucking Elon Musk or whatever.
Yeah,
camera guy, man.
I know, he fucking goes take a piss break and the lights go out.
So, why? In 50 Cent's mind, it didn't make sense.
And honestly, like, I had never thought about it that way until you told me. Like, you even told me, because I took a business class, and the guy did. And so the way I like to see it, so the teacher that I had, professor, whatever, he did own a business and all this stuff. And I think the way that he was a perfect teacher or a good teacher was the fact that he knows what it took to run a business, and he also knows what it takes to lose that business. So he's in the good position to where he knows, like, hey, like, I'm going to teach these young children or these young kids how to build your business, become successful, and keep it. Because I've gone to the point where I've had a business, it was successful, and then I fucked up. I got too, over my head, and I started buying more shit than I needed, or more product, whatever it was. And I took the wrong turns, and I failed. And now I'm a product of what could have been. And I'm here to teach you the things that I've done and the things that didn't work out, that the things that when I fucking took a left, should have took a turn right, took a right. And it's like, so that's where I'm like, okay, cool. That's where you become a good professor. But at the same time, when you told me that once you said that, the whole thing about like, like how is someone that's, not a successful business owner, not rich, they're going to be a teacher, a professor, and they're going to teach me how to become rich or be successful. And I was like, that's so fucking true, because if that's the case, then there shouldn't be any professors or teachers that should teach a business class. No. Because if they're teaching you how to be successful and how to be rich and how to make money and how to run a successful company, they wouldn't be a fucking professor. They'd own a company. And that's why we go to like, that's why people go to those conventions where it's like Jeff Bezos, or what's the other guy? What's the other guy that gives like good information?
Gary Vaynerchuk. There's Gary Vaynerchuk. There's fucking,
I think Gary. Yeah, the little
Grant
like
Cardone.
No, I think it's Gary, the little dude that's always talking about like selling basketball cards.
Yes, Gary Vaynerchuk.
Yeah, so like exactly, and that's what I think.
A guy like that.
Yes, and that goes from being a professor, from being a teacher, from paying money to get a fucking semester out of someone that doesn't run a successful business, doesn't have $1 million, right, does all this shit. And then you go to a convention that you pay maybe $25 a ticket to sit down, and you hear a successful person talk about how they made money, and they're up there with a Rolex watch and fucking Gucci belt, and all this shit, and they drive off in a Lambo fucking limousine, and that's what switches from back and forth.
So now listen to this: that whole business education that somebody just dropped $50K on, you could have got it in a book from fucking some business guy, you could have read one of Warren Buffett's books. Yeah, one of even Cardone's books. One you could have learn how to sell shit, sell or be sold, the 10x. You could have read fucking Crush It. Well, you read Crush It. Yeah. I mean, the knowledge is out there. I think the problem is people aren't good at self-discipline. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think some people suck at self-discipline.
Of course,
they don't sit down and say, okay, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna read this, and if I don't understand it, I'm gonna read it until I understand it.
Yeah.
You know?
But that's
people, and trust me, I've been there, dude. I've been there where, thank you. I've been there where it fucking sucks. I'm reading a fucking chapter on a book, and I'm like, I don't fucking get it.
like, just get to the point where you tell me, go sell this so I can get $1 million. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, just get to the point. I don't want to hear about all the trial and errors that you went through.
But that's where the knowledge is.
Exactly.
The knowledge is where the guy, the guy started. The knowledge is in the process.
Mm-hmm.
Where the guy failed, he learned, he kept going, he failed again, he learned, he kept going, failed again, he learned. You know, that's where the lessons are. That's the real fucking education, you know?
Yeah.
Because then you can relate. You know, oh, okay, I see what this guy's doing. Okay, so there's no fucking blueprint to this shit, okay?
No, yeah.
So if there's no fucking blueprint, how does a business teacher have the blueprint
Mm-hmm.
or claim to have it?
Yeah.
You
Like,
know?
so you're telling me that the fucking, this book that I just got from the bookstore that cost probably like $200-300 for this one class. So if I read this whole book and I study it and I know everything about that book, I'm going to be a fucking millionaire. Or I'm going to be a successful business owner.
Well,
Is that
you
what you're
won't-
trying to tell me when I get this fucking class?
Probably not. But what they're probably trying to tell you is they're gonna tell you these are all the basics and the terms and the terminology and the knowledge you need, the math you need, and all that shit. And this is all the stuff you need to apply.
Mm.
And then that's what's gonna make you money. You apply it to your life, you apply it to your business, and that's what's gonna make you money.
Yeah.
Right? But why drop so much money on that when you can learn it off a fucking book off a library that you could rent for $1, you know?
All you gotta do is be, like you said, be
Self-disciplined about it.
self-disciplined about it to the point where, like, are you gonna actually read that book?
Are you gonna read a chapter that you don't understand over and over again until you read it?
Exactly.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Because that is frustrating as fuck. I'm telling you, I've been there.
Yeah, you read a whole chapter through it, and the whole time you're reading, you're thinking about something else. So by the time you finish, like, wait, what did I just read?
What did I just read, right? So you gotta
read it again.
focus, right?
Yeah, a 12
But-
fucking chapter book turns into a 24 chapter
But I
book.
think people drop so much money because they have somebody in front of them talking to them and teaching them, and someone to wake you. Hey, you're not paying attention. Come on,
Exactly.
listen to what I'm saying. Right?
Get off your phone.
And get off your phone. Hey, wake
No
up.
phones in class.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
All that shit. So that's why people drop. I think that's probably one of the reasons why
You're
people
making
drop
such
so much
valid
money.
points right now. It's so crazy.
Why
You're
people
making
drop-
a point that, like, college is needed for certain people, and
Oh, yeah.
and college is useless for certain people because they have a different mindset, different
you
discipline.
can't teach nursing. Okay, you
Exactly.
can't teach nursing off a book. You can't
Fuck
read.
no.
You can't read a fucking anatomy book and think you're a fucking
No.
nurse. Okay, but you can read a book on like money. You can read a book on learning how money works.
Mm-hmm.
You can read a book on how
The
sales
stock market.
works, stocks,
Mhm.
all that shit. Like I tell my dad all the time, I'm like, Dad, there's so much money in this fucking country. It's unbelievable.
It is, and you know what? It's funny that you say that because
There's
the
an
wa-
abundance.
the way I see money in the world is the way I see views on my podcast or
Mhm.
listens on my podcast.
Right.
Is that I think Joe Rogan's has 1 point some million views every podcast he puts out, right?
Right.
So that 1 million is only for his podcast, you know, because there's what, like some point billion people in the world, right?
I have no idea.
I know that's
There's
a number.
a lot of fucking
I know,
people.
I know.
But that
it's-
is a small amount of people listening to
Exactly.
Rogan's podcast
But at the same
compared to
yes.
the fucking world.
Exactly. So I think, like, okay, so Rogan has 1 point some million views or followers every episode he posts out.
Right.
So how am I going to get that when he has them already? It doesn't work like that because he may have them, but like out of those 1 point some million views that he has, maybe a million or maybe like 500,000 of them also like the stuff that I'm putting out, and they can easily come to me. That's how I see money. Money is the same thing. You think, like, you know, I want to say like there's a certain amount of money in the world that runs, you know, and so just because someone's a billionaire, there can't be just 10 billionaires, because if there's 10 billionaires and there's not enough money in the world, like, but there's so much money in the world that we can have.
It's printing out every fucking day.
Yes,
That's what I heard,
it's
at
something
least.
that's just printed. It's like, oh, you need another copy?
Not anymore.
Here you go. Well,
now
no,
it's credited to your PayPal account,
because
to your
we're
bank account.
exactly. That's where they fuck up.
Now it's virtual.
Yeah,
Now
and
it's
that's
on
where
a
it's
fucking plastic.
and that's where it's fucked up. But I'm just saying, like, you hear about people having so much money, and you're like, fuck, he has all the money now. I can't get none of it. Like, if I take money from him, I have to be more successful. I have to be funnier. I have to be smarter.
It's weird how
And
people think that way.
Yeah, and I think about that all the time. And I remember someone posted on Instagram. There's at this moment. I remember they posted at this moment. There's $2 billion in the world.
I doubt that.
And no, I know it was just a random thing.
Oh, okay.
And they were like, that means that every person in the world can have at least however so much money and can be considered rich. And I'm thinking, like, that's so true. I don't have to be this person to get that amount of money to take it from them. I'm not taking money from them. I'm just at their level.
Yeah.
And there's so many people that can be at their level. There's so many people that can be a Jeff Bezos. They can be a fucking what's the guy that owns Facebook?
Mark Zuckerberg.
Mark Zuckerberg. Like, there's so many people that can do that without taking from them. Like, you don't have to compete with them. You just have to be on their same level.
Right.
And once I learned that, and once I learned that about podcasts, like, I don't have to be a Joe Rogan to have that view. I just have to do some. I just have to
put in the work.
Put in the work, yeah. And I can have Joe Rogan views. I can have Joe Rogan likes. I can have Joe Rogan follows. Like, all that stuff. And
you got to believe that, yeah.
Yes. And so once I got that through my head, then that made me want to push this even further.
Right.
Because at that point I was like, so I don't have to be Joe Rogan. I don't have to be famous. I don't have to, have a fucking, a Navy SEAL on my podcast to have views. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like, I can do the same thing he's doing on a different level, but still be making the same way.
Right.
Still making.
For sure.
Yeah, yeah. So when you brought up the whole money thing, I was like, that's what I always relate it to. Like, there's so much money in the world to circulate. Like, you can make just as much money as another billionaire without taking money away from him.
For sure. Like, when you started the podcast, dude, my first thoughts were, if it doesn't hit, he's going to quit. Because he did on his last podcast.
That's a nice little rhyme, though. Nice little bar.
Right.
If it doesn't hit, he's going to quit.
Right. If it doesn't hit, he's going to quit, like he did with his last podcast. And when I was working, I told the guys there, I'm like, well, because, like, podcast, like, is that what he's going to do for the rest of his life now? Like,
exactly, yeah.
Well, let him do whatever he wants. But in my mind, personally, I was like, if it doesn't hit, he's going to quit. And he's just going to stop it. But I want to see for myself. I want to see how far his podcast goes. I want to see, because working together, I didn't see much effort from you.
Yeah.
Right. And I know why.
It. Yeah.
But I was like, but maybe he just didn't like it. Maybe this is his thing. Maybe this is where he's going to put his effort in.
Yeah.
And, podcast is not this big fucking thing where it just generates all kinds of money. You can make a living.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But if he uses it for the right purposes, and if he's smart about it, he can create something and he can do something with it,
Yeah.
So that was always my mindset about it. And I was like, I want to watch, I want to see, I want to hear. And, and then once I started, like, once I saw your some of the videos on Facebook, because that's what I had at the time.
Yeah.
And I started seeing slow in the pod thing, and you had a little logo going, and I'm like, oh, he's putting effort into it. Okay.
Yeah.
He's having more guests on. He's got some views going, yada yada. And some of the guys I work with watch your shit, and then be like, oh my god, like, why isn't he just making real money? And I'm like, well, because he just fucking wants to, whatever. So that's what he wants, And at times I'd go along with it. I'm like, well, yeah, well, it is what it is, whatever. Maybe he doesn't want to work. He doesn't have to work. He gets fucking money from the military. That's why, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah.
And then they're like, well, yeah, well, lucky him. He fucking just hearing, right?
Yeah.
Lost his hearing. Now he's got money. And like, that's where our tax dollars go. Well, fuck. What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
What are we gonna do? Yeah, that's fucked up.
Well, you
that's
go join the army and you fucking find out,
right?
And you can get money too.
And then we had a guy there, dude, and I would always talk shit to him because that when somebody would buy a car off of him, and they'd tell him that he'd tell him that he's military, and that he's done, and they'd be, oh, thank you for your service. And I just sit there and I laugh. And then once the customer was gone, I'm like, oh, thank you for your service. I broke my fucking wrist in training, and then that was it.
Yeah. That's very true.
I
Yeah.
fucking protect. But then he tells me the same shit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then you go fucking join the army. You won't fucking make it to fucking camp.
Exactly.
You're too emotional.
Yeah.
You have to sit there and someone's got to yell in your face and talk shit. He's like, you wouldn't last.
Yeah.
You'd get mad and you'd fucking leave.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I thought about it. I'm like, I don't know, maybe I would.
Yeah, people have this shit where they're just like,
I'm
going to join the military. And they're like, I would never join the military because if anyone yells in my face, I'm going to fucking punch shit. I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah, all right, buddy. Yeah, that's why you can't go and join the military.
Yeah, so I thought about it, and
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, maybe I can't.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this guy's right. Maybe it's not. Maybe I can't handle someone yelling in my face and talking shit to me. Maybe I do gotta punch him in the fucking throat, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Then if it's like that, then props to these guys.
Yeah.
I can't fucking do it then.
Yeah.
You know, I can't fucking. I can't. I wouldn't be able to, you know? But at the same time, I'm like, well, maybe I can. But I didn't, so it doesn't fucking matter anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
It's one of those things where it's like I could probably do that. It's like, but you think about it like, well, but even if I can do that, I'm too late. I'm not gonna join right now. Like, it's just so much shit that goes through people's minds. But yeah.
Anyway, going back to the money part, dude. Like, going back to the college thing. Point is, you don't need to drop a big education. You literally need to have good work ethic. You need to be a hustler.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have self-discipline, in my opinion. And you need to have a plan and a vision. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger says, you know, you got to have a vision. You got to see it. And you got to have a plan. You got to execute it, you know. And I'm in a point in my life where I have a plan. And I'm literally in the process of executing this plan.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in there. I'm in the process. I'm in the rut, you know. I'm fucking going through it. And it's fucking boring at times. It's fucking it's annoying. It sucks. But I got to do what I got to do. Yeah. You know, and you don't always have to like what you have to do to get to where you need to get.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I got plans but you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And I'm at that start in my life. I'm late, but I'm at that start. You know, it's never too late to start.
Yeah.
But I'm at the start. And I mean, there's days where I'm fucking unmotivated as fuck. And I'm just fuck, dude. Like, I don't want to do it. Like, I don't want to fucking get on my laptop and do all this and take classes like this and do that.
Yeah, my uncle, he's going through barber school right now. Every time he cuts my hair, I always ask him, like, how's it going, all this stuff. And he's like, dude, honestly, like, there's days where I come in and I don't want to cut hair no more. Like, he's like, and it pisses me off because it's like, I'm paying to go to school to learn how to do this. It's like,
what was it, Tommy?
Gabriel.
Gabriel, okay. I never met him.
Yeah. And so he's like, so what happens when I get the, I get a shop,
your license, right?
Yeah. And it's like, am I going to have days where I just don't want to cut hair? And I'm not going to like it no more. And so I get what you're saying.
Right, you have the self-doubt, right?
Yes, exactly.
Like right now, like I don't want to say what I'm doing until I'm finished, but right now I'm taking these classes, right? And I'm learning about them.
Oh, okay.
I'm learning about them, and I'm like, oh man, I don't want to jump into the class today.
Yeah.
Like it's what I wanted to do, and now I don't want to do it. Why? Why is this happening? Okay, this is the part where I really gotta go and fucking discipline myself, push through this, and then reignite that motivation somehow, some way.
Yeah.
And the beginning of this week is when it happened. I found it. I reignited my motivation. I started working out harder. I started doing my classes, focusing, getting excited again.
Really learning the material.
Right, really learning the material all over again. You know, like just like striving to finish on time, right? And but I went through a 2-week fucking rut, dude, where I was unmotivated, and I wasn't doing my classes like as disciplined as I was at the beginning. But then I the whole 2 weeks I kept looking for that thing. I would watch motivational videos. I would listen to fucking people talk. Yeah. I'd fucking listen to podcasts. And I think the podcast that really got me fired up was Rogan with Cameron Haynes. Mr. Keep Hammering.
Yeah.
You know, I listened to them, and I was working out, and I felt like some momentum. Just from hearing them, I felt some fucking momentum. And I was like, okay, maybe this is it. Maybe this is it. Then I worked out last night. I usually don't work out late at night. I worked out late at night. Took some pre-workout around 11. I worked out till like 1 in the morning.
Yeah, you got the home gym benefits.
Right. So
Yeah.
I was like fucking fired the fuck up. And then I woke up this morning. I felt good. And I was like, and I did my class. I did my fucking class. I finished one full fucking course. And I hadn't done that in like 2 weeks.
Good job.
And I'm like, dude, I fucking got it. I found it.
Yeah.
Fuck, I got it back. I thought I had
spark
lost it. You know,
Yeah,
you're
you
like
got
a
your spark
fuck.
back, yeah.
But it's the way it works, and you're not motivated every day. You're gonna have those times where you're not motivated, and you just gotta find it.
Yeah.
You gotta find it, and once you find it, you're back on track, man.
Yeah.
But you gotta,
Can be weeks too.
you gotta be. But
Yeah, it's not gonna be an overnight thing.
But you gotta be consistent with it.
Yes,
You gotta keep looking for it. You can't just be like, because I had friends that tell me, yeah, well, I get motivated, but then motivation just goes away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does go away. I know it. But you got to stay disciplined with it. You got to keep that discipline. You got to keep that discipline. And once you lose it, once that motivation goes away, because it does go away, keep the discipline going.
Mm-hmm.
And if you keep it in the back of your head, like, I got to wake up early. Why am I waking up late? You know you got to wake up early, man. Why the fuck are you waking up so late? And then eventually, you keep telling yourself every day. And eventually, boom, one day you're in bed and the alarm goes off and you're up. You're just up.
Yeah.
It just happens. And you're like, oh, fuck, finally I fucking woke up early. It's fucking 5 in the morning. I woke up fucking early. Oh, I got
And you're like
so
ready,
much
and you're ready
fucking
for
time.
it though.
Yeah.
It's not like,
And
oh, here I go again. And you're just like,
you
I've
get
been
excited.
waiting for the alarm clock to
You're
go off.
excited, right? You
Yeah.
get excited. You're like, fuck, I'm up. Let's go brush my teeth, make my coffee, make my breakfast. Let's go for a walk. Let's go for a run, get on my class, whatever it is, you know? And you're just carrying that momentum throughout the fucking day. And now everything you do throughout the day is you're doing it with that kind of momentum, and it's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And I love it. But yeah, you go through fucking times where you just don't want to do shit. You feel so unmotivated, and like with your podcast, you're probably gonna go through some times where you're like, fuck the fucking view. It's stale. I get the same amount of views. Why the fuck is it stale? What am I doing wrong? Fuck. And then you're like, I gotta make another podcast. And then you think, fuck, I'm gonna have the same fucking views. Like, do I really want to do the fucking podcast again?
Yeah.
Like, but then you just gotta keep fucking, like, you just gotta be like, all right, do the podcast. Let's do the podcast, see how it goes. Maybe this podcast will give me the energy. Maybe I'll find something. But you gotta look for it too.
Yeah.
You gotta keep it in your mind and keep looking for that fucking that thing that's gonna reignite your fucking motivation, and then you'll go right back at it full force like you did in the beginning. And usually that fucking motivation will last.
Yeah.
It'll last months, dude. But the good part is that, well, depending on the person, at least me, I'll only lose it for a couple weeks. You know, where I won't wake up on time like I tell myself I would. I have my alarm at 5, but I wake up at 7 or 8. I'm like, fuck, man, I could add 2 to 3 hours to myself, and I didn't get them. And you really can't wake up because your mind is not. Your mind got unprogrammed, and you got to program it again.
Yeah.
And it takes a while, and you got to talk shit to yourself. At least I do. I call myself a fucking pussy. What are you thinking? Wake up in the morning, brush my teeth, and I'm looking at myself. I'm like,
You talk yourself
fucking
down.
idiot.
Yeah.
Look at you. Look at the fucking time, dumbass.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? You gonna put your earphones on and listen to a podcast, hopefully get motivated? No. Do something. But nothing happens.
I like what you were saying
About what?
about staying motivated to
Oh.
continuously
yeah,
do.
keep finding it. I mean, when you find yourself in a rut like that, and you're like unmotivated for a while,
It's not getting enough.
and it's
traffic.
not. Yeah, you're not. You don't have any momentum going. And you're just slow. You don't want to do things. You don't want to wake up early anymore. And every task you do is fucking drag. You just gotta have it in the back of your head that you gotta stay in the process and keep doing what you're doing. It's kind of like working out, building muscle.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's the same fucking thing. And just treat it like that. And eventually you'll go right back into it's almost like a plateau.
Yeah.
It's a plateau, and you'll jump right back into the grind. You'll get fired up, and you'll fucking be like, fuck yeah, I like this feeling. I'm back. You'll get the feeling back, and you just fucking go ham.
Yeah, I always wondered about that too. Like the whole plateau thing, I never understood what it was until I really started hitting the gym, and then I was just like, oh shit, like this is a plateau. Like when you've been doing the same routine for like the past year,
6 months or
and you're
to
just
a
like,
year.
yeah, and you're just like, I'm not getting any. I'm not lifting anymore. I'm not lifting like
I'm not as
like
sore.
stuck. Yeah, I'm not as sore. I get the same pump, but like I don't add like there's no extra muscle that's popping out of nowhere. I don't have this like secret fucking ab that came out of nowhere. Like it's the
Right.
same muscle.
Striation
And then that's when I was like,
that comes out,
oh,
nothing like
yeah,
that.
yeah. And I was like, oh, this is a fucking plateau effect.
Okay, this is where I start doing drop sets.
That's when I used to switch it up and like, dude, I went through so much like trial and error like with working out. Like I would do, I got to a point where I was like, I'm just gonna do chest Monday through Friday. I'm gonna do like chest 1 week, like biceps 1 week, shoulders 1 week. I swear to God, dude. And I just was like, I'm just gonna focus on that one muscle group for a week, like just give it my full attention. That's all I did. And like I went through so much
Fucking
shit.
insane. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, I swear to God,
That's
I went
gotta be
through.
a brutal fucking.
It was just like Monday get into the gym, do bench. Well, yeah, but it wasn't the same workouts. Like maybe Monday I would do bench press, and then Tuesday I would do
Barbell.
dumbbell.
And then and then
Yeah.
dumbbell the next day, and then cables the next day.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
machines the next day.
I was trying to do everything to get out of this like fucking plateau effect because it was frustrating because it was like I go to the gym Monday through fucking Saturday, like by the book, like I like religiously I was going to the gym, and then it wasn't like I didn't see any difference, and I was like, what the fuck's going on? I was like, is this the point where I like stop going to the gym for like a month or two, and then I go back down to my like normal size, and then I just build it back up? Like where am I at right now?
What is going on?
Yeah.
Why is my body not responding to these fucking workouts?
Yeah, I hated that.
I thought this was the magic fucking secret. I thought this was
Yeah,
the
just
secret
work
to
out all the
fucking
time.
Get jacked. Yeah, just work out, lift heavy every day.
Every time I took a day off, that was me going back down small. Like I was deflating.
Yeah.
I swear, like that's why I would go
Happens.
Monday through Saturday, and sometimes I'd even go on Sunday just because I was like, oh, that's like I always saw it as go to the gym Monday, build muscle. Go to the gym Tuesday, build muscle. Go to the gym, and then Sunday would hit, and then the day from Saturday, from the last workout I did to Monday morning, I went back down, and then I was just trying to catch up. That's how I saw it.
Oh yeah.
And then well,
it's a mind thing. It's a mind fuck you. It's in your head.
yeah,
the
and then
whole
I
time.
grew like when I was little, I was scrawny. Like
Yeah, I've seen pictures of you.
all the way to my senior year, I was probably like 145, 150.
Damn.
I was little, like sick little. Like, dude, kids used to make fun of me, and they used to say that I looked like a Holocaust survivor.
No.
I swear to God, it was bad. It was brutal.
He's like,
At the time, I was just like, I don't
"Bro."
really get it. But now that I hear that joke, I'm like,
Yeah,
that's
what's wrong with your eyes? Your eyes
terrible.
are like sucked into the back of your skull.
I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm healthy. Like,
Yeah.
I remember like
I don't know,
kids
so your
used to
fucking
like
cheekbones are popping
push.
out, man.
People used to like push my chest, and they could feel like the bones.
Oh, like Isaac?
The ribs that go across your chest. Yeah. And like to this day, every time when I do like I always feel my chest, and I'm like, I can't feel my ribs. Like I can like rub hard, and I just feel like either muscle or fat. Either way, it's anything but
Bone.
nothing there. Yeah.
But yeah.
So that always got into my head, and like I remember like, and the person that said it was like a fat ass person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, well, how are you any better?
Right?
You know what I'm saying? You probably can't even see your dick when you like go
Right.
pee or
Right,
something.
right.
Like, you fat ass
If I
bitch.
just go over and touch.
Yeah, it's still there.
Yeah, it's still there. I got it. It's not going away. I actually have a different problem. Well, you know, I fucking had GI problems for like a long time. I had no
Well,
fucking health insurance, and I got it fixed.
You had issues with your stomach growing when you were born, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, I got my fucking split open in half.
Is it
when I
across
was like 9
or up and
months.
down?
No, it's just from. Well, now it's like right here.
I've never
So,
seen
yeah.
it. I've never seen it. I've also never seen your legs.
No. It's about that big now. But at 9 months, I mean, I'm probably that tall. 9
Yeah.
months, so it's from side to side. Yeah, it's a horrible experience. I mean, for my parents.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty much. What my mom tells me, I'm supposed to be dead.
Yeah.
But
Okay. So I remember it was either you or Joe.
see, God is good.
Yeah. But you say it was either you or Joe. I remember we were working at Free to You, and one of you guys told me a story that someone crawled to the church and they prayed about cancer. Was that Joe?
That was Joe.
That was Joe, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he told
I
us
guess, he was dying too. I guess
he was, and his grandpa
pretty much crawled on his knees to
all the way
church.
to the church.
But I've heard that story.
Yeah, you told me that.
I've heard that story in the past from other people. I guess
It's like a thing in Mexico.
right. I think after that,
So what happened was
someone died or something. Like
I think
that.
Joe had said he had cancer.
Yeah,
He had
a
a sickness,
Yeah,
and then his grandpa crawled to the church, prayed that whatever sickness he had, that he would give it to him. Sure enough, 2 weeks later, Joe got better and his grandpa got cancer.
Right.
That's what it was.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that story before, like similar to that, from other people. But I mean, I honestly can't vouch that may be true or not.
Yeah.
So, but as far as my situation, my mom told me that she actually went to that little church at the hospital. Because I was actually at
in the hospital. Yeah.
I was at St. Jude's. You fucking idiot! You watch too many commercials.
Yeah, he does.
Shut the fuck
You're at
up.
that McDonald's house.
Shut the fuck up.
For children.
Right, you're at
The Ronald McDonald house.
I know the fucking I was like, I know what happened. You ate that J Balvin, man. That's what fucking happened.
He was just like randomly saying hospitals,
Right.
St. Jude's, St. Christie's. So you're at a hospital.
Fucking he was. I bet you anything. Right now.
You weren't even born yet.
You were in El Seguro. El Seguro is the fucking hospital in fucking Mexico, San Luis. I'm surprised he didn't say something retarded like that. El Seguro. No, you were in El Seguro. That's what happened. Right, you were in a clinic somewhere, fucking in some kind of fucking hillbilly, Mexican hillbilly village. No, I was here at fucking in Phoenix at the Good Samaritan. That's where I was, and they have a little church there. I was at St. Jude's, and my mom was at in the church in the hospital there.
St. Jude's? It wasn't St. Jude's.
St. Jude's.
Isaac got into your head. It wasn't St. Jude's. Oh, man. You're just making up hospitals.
Damn.
The hospital in Phoenix.
You got me.
Yeah.
You fucking got me.
The hospital in Phoenix.
Yeah, the Good Samaritan. That's the one. Not St. Jude's. St. Jude's is where Luis Fonsi showed up or something like that. You remember that commercial? Mister.
Oh, yeah,
I forgot the song. What's the song called? Yeah, he's Despacito
He
showed up.
did, huh?
Yeah, he showed up. A lot of people showed up to the hospital, but not to mine.
Not to mine.
No, well, the one I was in, no one gave a shit. I was not at St. Jude's. I was at the Good Samaritan.
Good Samaritan in Phoenix.
There was a church there. My mom went there and prayed and just literally prayed and said, "Hey, you know what? If he's gonna die, just take him."
It's funny because Joe's story is that his grandpa went and was like, "Please, like, just take me instead." And your mom was like, "If he's got to go, let him go. Go ahead and take him."
Yeah. Well, I have an interesting pair of, parents. I have interesting parents.
Yeah.
So yeah, she said, "Hey, you know, if you're gonna take him. Stop letting him suffer.
Yeah.
If not, help a brother
Fucking
out.
fix him. Yeah.
Help a brother out."
Spending
She said literally the next day, I blew up like a balloon. My stomach cut me open, and there was in one of my intestines. They literally saw the virus eating my intestine, and they just took out that piece of intestine, and then the virus is gone.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And that's why I got this big ass scar, because I had open from side to side. But yeah, since then I never had problems with my stomach, not until a couple years ago, and then a couple years ago I didn't have insurance till like this year. I fucking had health insurance finally, and I went to that's the first thing I did in January. Go to as soon as my insurance kicked in, go to the fucking doctor, get my shit fixed, so I can start working out and eating right. I shit you not, man. I'd eat fucking chicken and just blow it up.
Yeah.
Like horrible. But now I'm better. Now I got now I gotta be on pills for the rest of my life, I guess, and
That sucks.
take all kinds of not all kinds of medications, just a couple medications. But I don't give a shit. It works.
At least
It
you feeling
fucking
better.
works.
Yeah.
I feel better. I'm not bloated all the time. I can do whatever I want. Except remember I told you that I can't drink coffee for too long.
Yeah, yeah.
So I tested that theory, and I was able to drink coffee for about a week and a half,
Mhm.
and then my stomach was fucked up for like 2 days.
Yeah.
So I was
Well,
like,
that's
oh,
why
cool.
everyone always says, like, with me, like, they're, because I'm legit, what's it called? Lactose intolerant.
Mm.
And so, like, they're like, oh, like, you just, you just have to go, like, take a shit. Like, no, like, I thought that too. I was like, maybe I just, maybe when I eat cereal and with milk, like real milk, like, I just have to fart all the time. Oh, well. So I tried it one time when I knew I wasn't going to go anywhere. Dude, I was like hunched over, grabbing my stomach. Like, I was just bad. Like,
It's not good, man.
it felt like someone punched me and like I just took the air out of me, and I was like, ugh, like it was like a cramp.
And it's right here.
Yeah, it's on the side. It's never right here.
It's never right here.
It's
or
like
up here or
on the
anything.
sides.
It's right here. On
It's
the
like, and you
side.
always go like this, like, oh, and you hunch over. Like,
Right.
it was bad. So from that point on, I was like, oh, I'm legit lactose. Like,
Yeah, you don't fucking.
no,
drink that
yeah,
shit.
because even Christina, your wife, was like, oh, like you're just being a baby. Like, no,
No.
I wish I was.
Every time I hear that, I literally the one thing that comes to mind is Joey Diaz, because he has a bit where he talks about how he was allergic to peanuts, or he is allergic to peanuts,
Mhm.
right? And I don't know if it was his stepdad or whatever, or his mom. I think it was his mom. Who fucking told him, well, stop being a bitch, you eat some more fucking peanuts, and then you won't become
You'll
fucking
get past it.
right, you'll overcome your fucking allergy.
Allergy. Yeah.
And fucking, he said that he would fucking eat peanuts, and he'd fucking, his throat would start closing up, and his mom would fucking take him to some kind
Almost
of
die.
some some Latino doctor or whatever, and give him a shot of some shit, and he'll be all right. He's like, and he would do that every single time until it stopped happening. He said. He's like, I shit, I think, I don't know. He said it on his actual, his comedy special.
Mm.
That he did that until it stopped fucking happening.
Mm-hmm. That's
I'm like, I don't think I can.
Yeah, I know, and that's crazy because I never thought about it that way. Like an allergy, like imagine just continuously taking something until your body's like, fuck it, like, all right, I guess you really want this. All right, well,
You really want it? I'll take it.
yeah.
stop
The allergy
fucking
just goes
reacting to
away.
it. Yeah, no, I don't know. I can't do that shit though. But I forgot what we were talking about, dude.
I really
Before
do too. I don't even know.
But anyway,
But
that's what.
About you being cut up.
Do you know what I was talking about?
oh
no, I
yeah,
was
your
dying.
surgery, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
He's like, oh yeah, I was dying.
I was dying. Yeah. Well, anyway, now I got it all fixed, and I'm that's the struggle that I've had, trying to get that fixed and trying to build my muscle back up and all that shit, because I feel like fucking shit, dude.
Mhm.
Like I got some pretty decent gains this year, but the year's not over, so now I'm really trying to up my calories and bulk up, and I actually found a like a 5-week program type thing
Mhm.
where that I'm gonna try out and see how it works out. But I mean, so far I just kind of warmed up this week
Yeah.
to the program, and I shit you not, man, it fucking hurts. My chest is burning right now. My triceps, my biceps, and my legs are burning. My fucking quads.
Mm.
I didn't know I've been working out for 4 years, give or take. I had no idea sumo deadlifts worked out your fucking quads.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't think that. Like a lot of people think, like I thought that too. Like when I did deadlifts, I was like, oh, it's like a back workout, like
Yeah.
a lower back workout or something.
Sumo deadlifts are for your quads, bro.
Yeah.
And your hamstrings.
I've never done sumo deadlifts. I think they look funny, and I don't really.
They do look funny.
I don't get the idea because you got to think like when you do a sumo deadlift, your legs are spread apart so far that like when you lift up, you're going from like here to here.
Yes.
And then when you do an actual deadlift where your legs are closer, where you're almost standing like your actual legit posture, like your height,
Mhm.
you're going from here to here, like a full stand up.
Yeah.
So I've always done regular deadlifts. I still do to this day, but I've never done a sumo deadlift.
Try a sumo deadlift and squeeze your quads when you're at top, and see if you could do the next few reps the same.
Yeah, I have to try it.
I thought like sumo deadlifts or whatever. I'll try because I can't squat. My back. Oh, and on top of that, I hurt my back. My back's still a little fucked up, so I can't squat yet. At least I don't trust myself squatting. So I had I broke my back. What was it, like a vertebrae? Spinal.
That's
Yeah, Mike fucking Tyson, man. That guy was the man back then. He was
I saw that video the other day too, where he's like, I broke my back. Like
I broke my back.
They're like,
what was it, like spinal? No, it was like a vertebrae. Spinal. Spinal.
What happened?
Yeah, my back was broken. My back was broken.
I saw that video too, and I remember like someone was explaining like, it was a meme I had seen where it was like, how come you didn't go to the gym today? Like that's what the video they played.
I broke my back.
Dude, he has a crazy podcast too.
Yeah, he does.
Did you see the one?
Oh, dude.
What?
Sorry to interrupt you, but talking about his podcast, I ran into a clip where he was talking about his boxing. Just a small. For a few seconds, he was talking about his boxing career and how it changed him and how he hates himself for being who he was when he was boxing.
I think I've seen this one.
And then the guy tells him,
yeah,
the guy tells him, no, you don't. I'm like, what the fuck you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Imagine fucking Mike Tyson just heats up on you like that. Yeah, you shut the fuck up. Because he's like, that's very true.
Yeah.
No. What else do you do? It's Mike fucking Tyson. He's going to get up and break your fucking jaw. It's not worth it. Just agree with the man.
What happened was Mike Tyson, was explaining how like he doesn't like the way he ended up and all this stuff. And the guy's like, no, you don't. You don't believe that. Like, just kind of being like, man, come on. Like, really? That's what you think? And he's like, how the fuck are you going to tell me how I feel? Like, who the fuck are you to tell me?
Who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
He's like, that's the question. Who the fuck are you?
Yeah. And then the guy just switched and he was just like, you're right. Like, he totally switched it up.
That's very true.
They actually showed that clip. They play that clip on The Fighter and the Kid.
Really?
They bring it up. Whoa. Yeah. Brendan Shaw was talking about it.
Jesus.
But when I heard that, because I actually ended up watching that full podcast, and I heard that part, when that part came on, I just got like chills. I was like Mike Tyson's a scary dude. Like, and he flips like on a dime.
I've never been around a man like that, but if I were to be around Mike Tyson, I assume there'd be some kind of aura, in the room. Like,
you'd have to watch what you say.
Monster in the room. You know? There's a guy.
He's legit a gorilla.
With a short circuit. Yeah. That's fast and he's aggressive.
He's training again now. Are you gonna watch the fight?
Fuck yeah.
Who's he fighting?
Roy Jones Jr. Mr. Can't Be Touched.
See, I don't know boxing too well, so I don't know the hype between Roy Jones, but
well, you better get into it, son, because it's interesting.
Well, I'm definitely going to watch it, only for the fact that when I was younger and Mike Tyson was in his prime, I never watched any of the fights and I never really got into it. I don't even know if I'm pretty sure my parents are like.
I didn't get into boxing until I was like 18.
Did you ever watch any of Mike Tyson's actual fights though?
Well, no, I never watched
live.
No.
Okay.
Never.
See, yeah.
No, he was done.
See, yeah.
Or Muhammad Ali, but I've seen clips and shit.
Exactly.
Like that.
So it's cool that Mike Tyson's bringing it back. Yeah, he's older and stuff, but dude, from his training videos I've seen, he's still got the power and he's still scary as shit. Like I can only imagine being the guy that's holding the fucking mitts and has the fucking.
Rafael Cordero, that was fucking. That guy's a bad motherfucker, dude.
Who is that? The trainer?
Yeah, he's actually trained. He's Calvin's trainer too. Calvin Gastelum.
Okay, yeah.
And but he's a trainer for Shoot the Box. Like he trained Shogun Hua or whatever his name. Yeah, that guy and a few other guys from Brazil. That's as far as I know. I don't know too much, but I know I know what Shoot the Box is. And those some baddest motherfuckers on the planet. So I know he was a trainer for those guys. So right off the bat, I mean, some cool fucking dudes. He's the one. It's just it's weird because I mean you wouldn't suspect Mike Tyson going with an MMA trainer because that's what he specializes in.
Yeah.
Mixed
martial arts. Yeah.
Yeah, mixed martial arts. But no, he's training with a bad dude. So
yeah,
yeah, man, I'd be scared to hold mitts for Mike.
Yeah, and it's cool. I just got this idea, but talking to you about boxing and all that, like you train, you do boxing, you know some shit. So it gave me an idea that we should start doing like maybe like either do predictions of fights, like upcoming big fights, or afterwards talk about the fight. Like I think that'd be really cool.
Both.
Yeah, like that'd be dope, right?
Both. That's what I want to base mine off of.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah, that's right. You do want to start your own podcast.
Yeah, that's what I kind of want to base mine off of that.
Well, then I don't want to take from you, so yeah.
That was my idea.
But we could, we can do something like that. Yeah, we could probably do that.
There you go.
But the cool thing too is like I think you would have the insight and I would have the questions.
There you go.
And that would kind of would help. Oh, that's cool.
Like how I predicted the Israel fight right before it started.
Yeah, you did say that you're just gonna pick them apart.
I told you he's gonna start with the legs.
Yeah,
He's gonna start with the legs, and he's gonna knock him out in the third or the fourth. But
You
he
did
knocked him
say
out in
that.
the second.
but that's the cool thing too. It'd be cool to, huh? Oh, it's all good. We'll switch it right now. The cool thing too is like you can predict that, and then we can make it into one episode, not to where it's like one episode and then after the fight's another episode.
Yeah.
We could do like this was before the fight predictions, and this was after the fight, and we can see if you were right or wrong and all this shit. Like that'd be really cool.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
It was, but
your-
so
your
he
buddy
was predicting the fights, and I thought that was cool. And then from then on, I was thinking like, oh, we should have this like when there's like big fights or something, we just have like someone that either trains, or that someone that's like been training for a while that knows a breakdown of a fight, and that'd be cool to have. And I think it worked out because me and Eric don't know too much. Like we've never really gone full blown training, and we just like to watch it. It's exciting.
Well, I've been a fan of the sport for a really long time.
But you've also trained.
Well, yeah, I've trained about total probably 4 years maybe.
Yeah.
Since I was 18.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's kind of like been on and off.
Yeah.
I've been training consistently, like MMA or boxing, like some other guys that I know. But I mean, as soon as I got my hands in some gloves and started punching people in the face and getting punched in the face, I loved it, man. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And I became a fan of the sport after that. Just a huge fan, and I was able to. I like to analyze and kind of study fighters.
Yeah.
Just for my own interest.
Yeah.
And
like almost to like put yourself like, oh, if that was me, like I wouldn't have done that. I would have done this.
Right.
But it's easy to say that you're almost
yeah, dude. It's easy
because
to say.
like when the fight's happening, it's their live. Like
here's one thing that I don't that I can't relate to, I guess you could say, or that I can't speak on, which is the mentality of when you're actually in the fight. Like, I don't have that kind of experience. I have a lot of sparring experience. I sparred with a lot of buddies of mine while I was training. And I have that kind of experience of, like, of the feeling, the adrenaline feeling, the feeling of getting punched, the feeling of having a poker face, and the setting up punches, the fast thinking, the thinking like, okay, I gotta set this guy up with this certain punch, and I gotta move a certain way, and if he throws this, I'm gonna move like this, and then I'm gonna counter like this, and you're thinking a lot of this kind of thinking. You're doing this kind of thinking while you're sparring. You're throwing punches. Punches are being thrown at you, and they're literally in split seconds.
Yeah.
So you're thinking like this, and it's hard. I mean, it's hard because by the time you're thinking, if he throws a punch, boom, oh fuck.
Yeah.
He threw the fucking
By the time
punch
you're
in there.
thinking like, oh, the next one he throws,
sometimes.
I'm gonna do this, but before
Right.
you know it, like that next one comes and you didn't block it.
Right.
Like
Sometimes like, and then, but it's weird because once you get punched, you kind of stop thinking. You start reacting because you want to punch the person back.
yeah, and like because you're just so angry.
Yeah.
That like you just see red and you just start going full on like street mode and you just like start throwing.
Well, that depends on how hard you get hit. But but after a while, you learn to keep your cool, and like Israel Adesanya says, you aim and fire. You don't just throw and hope.
Yeah.
You start learning to aim and fire. After a while, after sparring so much, after getting enough training and the experience and being in there and being in combat, getting hit and hitting back, you kind of just start naturally reacting to some stuff. But the thinking part is it'll still be there.
Yeah.
Because you'll literally hear your coach's voice. Okay, this is how you said it. Like in a matter of a few split seconds, you'll hear your coach's voice say, "You're gonna set up this combination like this," and you'll remember that, and then you'll just apply it.
Yeah.
And when that happens, it's the fucking best feeling.
Yeah, it's like muscle memory.
Yeah, dude, it's the best feeling in the world. But I don't have too much of that. I think I have a fair share of experience. But I know a lot of people have way more than me. Like you were saying, Alex.
Mm-hmm.
Like shit, I've probably been training longer than Alex, but Alex can actually jump in the ring in front of a public.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I can't do that.
Mhm.
And I was always afraid, or not afraid, but I always had that. I was never comfortable performing in public, like in a big crowd.
Yeah.
You know, even though I proposed to my wife in a big ass crowd, right?
Yeah, at a
Right?
baseball game.
At a baseball game, didn't think about it, but that's actually probably what held me back.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the sport, and I've studied a lot, and I kind of took about a couple years off from paying attention to the sport, and just this year I started paying attention to it again. And because when I do pay attention to it, it makes me want to go back and train.
Yeah.
Just so I can get that feeling and relate more to the fighters, and relate more to the atmosphere, to the mindset. Because I'll be honest with you, I've been out of it for a while now, and I can't, or how do I explain it? Like, being out of it, you kind of forget what the atmosphere is like, what the mindset is like of training, fighting, and just the vibe of it, and the enthusiasm of fights. Like, I remember when I would watch like big fights, my heart would race. I'd be excited. I get anxious sometimes. I get super anxious. I'm like, and I'll start shaking, and I'm like, it's gonna go down, like it's gonna be a badass fight. I get super excited, dude. Like crazy. I don't even know how to explain it. It's like when you were a little kid and you were gonna go somewhere and you were super excited, so you were gonna go to Disneyland and you're like, I can't believe I'm going to fucking Disneyland. You get the butterflies in your stomach. That's literally how I felt when I would watch.
And you're just
fights.
watching it. You're not even actually fighting.
Yeah, you're just watching, and that's literally the feeling that I would get. And that kind of feeling kind of went away.
Yeah.
And I know it's because I haven't been around that, you know. So that's another reason why I really want to get back into training at least a couple times a month. I mean, I don't have that much time anymore. I'm fucking father now, and I got other shit going on.
Yeah.
But at least a couple times a month, just to be around, you know, be around fighters, be around that atmosphere, and just to not lose that touch, the touch, because boxing was literally the first sport that I've ever did, like considered a real sport.
Yeah.
Not like skateboarding. It wasn't really considered a sport, more like a hobby. And
you never played sports in high school?
And I never played sports in high school.
That's crazy. So
anything that had to do with training and putting your body through some kind of strain, boxing was it for me. That's my introduction to fitness, pretty much.
Yeah.
To working out and all that stuff. That boxing was my introduction. And I still shadow box. I still fucking invite Isaac over to spar to help me with some movement and stuff, just so I don't lose it, you know?
Yeah, that's good then.
And but you know, the schedule of classes and gyms here in Yuma, they're a little complicated, you know. They're usually from 5 to
we talked about this,
9 or whatever, and you know, sometimes by that time I'm still working, you know. I'm still doing stuff, and I can't get to them, you know. So I really want to fit it into my schedule and my everyday life type thing to or make it a goal of mine to attend some of those classes at least a couple times a month, you know, at least, you know, just to stay, like I said, stay there, stay in the atmosphere and know it, you know, because when you lose touch with that, it's a scary, well, for me, it's a scary thing, because that was the first thing that I ever trained. Yeah. And when you lose that, you're like, do I still know how to throw a punch? You know, you kind of question yourself.
Yeah, second guess.
You know, can I go back in there and hang with the guys that I used to hang with? You know?
It's not like riding a bike.
Yeah, it's not like riding a bike where you remember.
Yeah.
I mean, you will remember, but you won't be as sharp. At least I know I'm not as fast anymore. I'm not sharp anymore. My footwork is not the same. So I know I got a lot of shit. I mean, it's not like I'm going to train for a big fight, but knowing that I can move around and I can at least spar with my buddies or whatever, my sparring partners or whatever, at least if I know that I can help them. Like, say I'm at a gym and someone's prepping for a fight and they need sparring partners.
Oh, okay.
You know, at least I know I could help benefit them in some sort of way, you know. Yeah. Even if it's just for fucking what do I call it? just for conditioning,
Mhm.
just so he can get some rounds in, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
At least I can get in there and make him think and just not give him a hard time, but challenge him a bit, you know.
Just to help him out at least.
Yeah, to help him out, you know.
While
and,
still you getting something out of it.
Yeah, well, I get something out of it, you know. So that's kind of like why I kind of that's what I like.
Yeah.
More about training and not only that, but like I said, I'm a fan of the sport. But I'm not a big dude on where I would want to train for a fight and fight and all that. It's more of a hobby.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun though. I wouldn't mind doing it. I wouldn't mind like having the just being like tested to just like train for I don't know 3 months, and then just go into a fight and just see how I do. Just to do. And actually, it's funny because Eric's brother Alex did that.
Mm-hmm.
He was training MMA for a while, and didn't tell nobody. He only told Eric. And the only reason he wasn't even going to tell Eric. The only reason he told Eric was because he wanted Eric to take pictures.
Mm-hmm.
His parents didn't know. No one knew. And he went to some like MMA tournament and ended up winning.
Nice.
Yeah. So,
nice.
And it was just, and he's one of those people that just wanted to try it out and like, oh, like I've never done that before. So
props to him.
Yeah. So I always thought that too. Like I've always wanted to, but not so much boxing or MMA. It's totally out there, but I wanted to try fucking bull riding.
Bull riding.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I know it has nothing to do with like fighting and stuff, but no, I have a cousin.
I broke my back.
I have one of my cousins. He bull rides, like not professionally, but he does it like competitions and stuff. And he was telling me there's some where like you can register and just be like, oh, I just want to try it, and they'll just throw you in, put you in like a little vest and everything.
No
so that's
shit.
something I want to try. Yeah.
That's interesting.
And I don't even know if that's something you can train for.
I don't know.
You know, like that. I've always thought about that, like with bull riding. Like, what do you do? Just like ride bulls like every day, and then when the competition comes, you just like hope you're better that day,
Right?
Like I don't know, because at least with like
I have no idea. I've never looked into bull riding.
sports,
bro.
you know, like football and stuff, you practice plays, and then
Yeah.
boxing, you practice, you know, certain counter punches and all this
Right.
stuff,
You
and in
got
different
bag
positions.
work, footwork,
yeah,
you
exactly.
know,
So much stuff.
mitt work.
But,
You
like-
got all that sparring.
Yeah, bull riding. Like, what do you?
Are there mechanical bulls? Or what
Exactly. Yeah,
mechanical
exactly.
bulls?
And even like
That's-
then,
what
that's
about-
something that people just do it. Like go to the bar and do.
Work your grip.
That's what I should do first.
You fucking just.
I should
all
do
day.
I should do a vlog where I start off my bull riding training, and I just go to some bar somewhere that has the mechanical bull, do that, and then be like, all right, I think I'm ready. And then the next scene just cuts to me at an actual bull riding competition. Like that's all the training I did. That's it. And I ran like a few miles.
Have a few beers to get on
Yeah.
the bull. Let's go.
100%. I would love to do it.
That is a dream training regimen.
Right?
You know, I mean, bull riding. Have a few beers and jump on the bull, mechanical bull, and
Just get the confidence from the alcohol and just jump on and see how long you can hold on.
right. But at least work your grip.
Yeah.
You know, work your grip, and never do the cowgirl. Just hold on with two hands. Don't do the thing.
Yeah, I know. I would love to as much as I would. I'd love
Right.
to.
Don't do
be
the
able
thing.
to take that one hand off with the cowboy hat.
Yeah, and then you blink to one side.
Yeah, and just get
Like,
thrown
woo!
like who knows how
Let's
fucking
go.
far. But
yeah.
honestly,
I
man,
definitely like to do a podcast like that. I mean, like I said,
Yeah.
I the podcast that I want to do, I do want to base it kind of like that, and that's why I told you I kind of want to do like a bi-weekly thing
yeah,
and kind of just talk about bullshit, but also what interests me, which is fighting and other bullshit that I'm into.
yeah.
You know,
And
But-
and the cool thing is, I feel like you talking about that, I have so much stuff like in my head already that like of little bits you could do. Like you could do maybe like random like just people on the streets fight videos. You just break them down and be like, oh man, you should have done that. And then like, and then you can go to actual MMA fights, actual
Right.
boxing, actual karate matches, like all this stuff. And then also like you'd have like fucking like this is the weekly idiot, and it's just some guy gets knocked down the
Weekly
street.
idiot?
You know what I'm saying?
That'd be
Like
funny.
yeah,
That'd be
I hope I can help, but like I think stuff like that would be so cool.
like the wrong fight of the day.
Yeah. The wrong move of the day.
The
Yeah,
wrong
you
move of the
picked
day.
the wrong guy today.
We're
Just something like
bully
that.
beat down.
But yeah, there's so much stuff you can go.
right, I felt this shit moving. I knew it was gonna.
I told you, man. These things. I need new, better fucking mic holders.
That would work.
Oh, nice. But I think we should wrap it up anyways. We've gone on for a while.
Yeah.
But and honestly, I'm definitely gonna have you back because there's so much other things we can talk about that hanging out with you at your mom's birthday, whenever we're working with your dad. Like there's so many conversations we have about like Tupac and Biggie, all the conspiracies,
all the shit,
all the stuff about fighting. Like there's so much stuff we can talk about.
I'm going for hours probably.
So definitely I'll have you back more. I have multiple guests that I've had that I know I'm going to have them once or twice or 3 times, whatever. Yeah. Because like I was telling Eric, like there's only so many people in Yuma. Eventually you're just going to have reoccurring guests and it just happens. And it's cool because when you're recording that podcast, like that episode, you're like, this can continuously go on. But like me being like the host and knowing like how people, their attention span is so short, I know I have to cut it at some point. Yeah. But yeah, so thanks again, man, for coming by. No problem. I know it's a long drive out here, but
thanks for inviting me.
I appreciate it, and I hope you had a good time on your first podcast.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see what you come up with in your stuff. But
yeah, I'm excited. I got some plans.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely see. We'll see and hear from you more.
Yeah. Once I get everything set up, I'll let you know what it'll be and when the first episode will be. And
all right.
I might have you on as the first episode just because.
Why not? Right, what do I know? But right?
Why not? But I told him, I was like, my goal is to have 2 podcasts recorded by the end of November.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's nice. That's good.
It's a couple podcasts, but I got other shit going on, so I gotta fit it in my schedule. And
I'm telling you, it's tough. Once you
juggle everything.
Once you get the stuff and you're like, all right, cool, I just want to start recording stuff. Like it's you record it, and then the hardest part is just the editing. Record, like I always told Eric, I wish I had the point where I could just sit down, come in, press record, we do our conversation, and I leave, and they edit it, and the next day it's out. Like it's not like that, because especially when you're working on your own terms and you don't have productive like. A production company
or a team.
Yeah, a team. Like you don't have someone to edit it. Like it gets pretty tough. And it's like tomorrow. Like I told you, I have so many other podcasts that I've already recorded that I need to edit and I need to put them out. And it's just like it'll get to you. I'm not trying to like discourage you, but it's just a challenge. But it's gonna be fun though. You love it. Whenever the cool thing too is after so many hours of putting in work of editing, when you put it out, it's so like relieving. It's such a relief whenever like people are just like, yo, that was a good episode, or like.
Rewarding.
It's very rewarding. So it's definitely worth it.
Emotional.
Yeah. But